Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from a mummified alien head to an alligator attack that may just leave you shocked. Ready? Let's jump right in. Imagine you were out there taking a stroll when all of a sudden you see this guy from a distance. What would be the first thing in your mind? Well, for me, I'd seen snake, but in my thoughts, of course. The last thing I or anyone should want is to startle a snake in the midst of greens when it can easily manipulate its way around, hiding in the foliage and possibly attack. The one recording handled himself quite well, which allowed him to record and take a good picture, a video of the creature. Looking at it again, it appears to have more features than you would associate with a snake. When I look at this, what comes to mind are the Chinese depictions of dragons. Do you think this creature could be ancient or have something to do with those ancient and powerful beings? Or do you think this is a hoax and someone is trying to get their 5 minutes of fame? Whatever your thoughts are, please share them in the comments section. This next clip is one you're going to have to help me with. What do you think is going on here? I watched this over and over and over again, trying to decipher and discern what could be going on here. But try as I may, I just couldn't. I had to put my ego and pride aside to ask Julius, our science whiz. It only took a few seconds, but after analyzing the clip, he stated that the dogs had been tied by the waist. Why? Well, it's hard to say. With what? That's also something we can't determine from the clip. But that's our working hypothesis. What do you guys think? Now, what are we looking at here? A strange blob-like entity just crawling on the floor. It resembles underdeveloped chicken eggs stuck together and slithering around, creating a very unsettling sight. What could this be? Is it some sort of unknown creature or just a product of CGI trickery? The way it moves is eerily organic, but in this age of advanced special effects, it's hard to determine the authenticity of such footage. Instead of passing judgment on this, perhaps I should leave it to you guys. What do you see? An alien life form, a mutated organism, or simply a well-crafted digital illusion? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Now let's dive into this next piece of footage. It looks similar to the first, but on a much larger scale. This video was retrieved from the security camera of a classified institution. Don't look at me like that. That's all the information we received. The footage shows a bizarre creature casually walking through a sliding door and then crawling away. That's if I'm allowed to describe its movement like that. Have you ever seen Stranger Things, especially the scene where people and rats come together to form a strange blob-like entity? Well, that's exactly what this reminds me of. I'm not sure if this is indeed some sort of giant creature prowling in the night or if it's just another well-crafted hoax. The sheer size and the way it moves are unsettling to say the least. Julius believes it's a CGI creation, whilst Aaron thinks it's possibly real. I've chosen to stay on the fence on this because I'm not ready to be dragged into a debate, but what do you guys think? A helicopter was flying over the ocean when something unusual caught the pilot's eye. Below, in the vast expanse of water, were two parallel streaks moving swiftly. At first glance, it looked like some sort of enormous serpent, but the way these streaks moved, straight and unwavering, didn't match the typical slithering motion of a serpent. Could this be evidence of colossal sea monsters or perhaps something else entirely? According to Julius, our in-house science whiz, the straight-line movement suggests it might not be a living creature, but rather some kind of large underwater object or phenomenon. What do you think? Now, speaking of serpents, what are we looking at here? Imagine a snake, but not just any snake, a peculiar one with white hair standing straight up on its head. It's almost as though it were a character from the Trolls cartoon. This unusual sight leaves us with so many questions. What kind of snake could this be? Is this some sort of bizarre mutation, or has this snake found a way to visit a salon? In reality, some snakes can indeed have strange and unique features due to genetic anomalies or environmental factors. However, this particular snake looks so outlandish that it seems like it's straight out of a fantasy world. There's a possibility that someone planted the hair on its head. A great possibility at that. But then again, could this be a rare species we've never seen before, or one that nature has decided to give a quirky makeover to? Well, let me hear your thoughts. Sewer pipes run deep underground, carrying everything from human waste and muddy water to industrial runoff laden with chemicals. It's a toxic cocktail down there. So what happens to any creatures that might live in such an environment like frogs? Do the chemicals affect them? This question became all the more pressing after a recent chilling discovery. A person peering through a sewer opening captured footage of an enormous creature. It was a frog, but it was not frog-sized. No, it was more human-sized and lurking in the darkness. How is this possible? Could it have mutated due to the chemical-laden environment, or are we looking at a new species of frog? A group of friends decided to take a nighttime swim, eager for a refreshing adventure under the moonlit sky, because nothing could go wrong. Their excitement, however, quickly turned to dread as they approached the water's edge. There, illuminated by the faint light of the moon, was a bizarre creature. It had a smooth, small head perched on a long neck and a fish-like tail that flicked ominously in the water. The sight was so unsettling that the friends froze, their night of fun abruptly turning into a scene from a horror movie. When they shared their experience, opinions were sharply divided. Some viewers shrugged it off, insisting it was nothing more than a seal common in those waters. However, others speculated wildly and were convinced that the friends had encountered a genuine sea monster, a creature of legend and mystery lurking beneath the waves. What do you think it was? Next, we've got a man who decided to go camping deep in the woods. After parking his car, he set up his tent a short distance away, ready to embrace the tranquility of nature. The night passed uneventfully, but the real mystery began at dawn. As he awoke and headed to his car to retrieve some supplies, he was stopped in his tracks by an eerie sight. Standing by his car was a strange figure, clothed entirely in black, with its hand ominously stretched out towards him. Panic surged through him and he bolted, running as fast as his legs could carry him, leaving everything behind. Later, he posted the footage of this unsettling encounter online, and the reactions were explosive. The community was divided. Some viewers were convinced it was a staged event, possibly orchestrated for internet fame. Others speculated it was a prank played by fellow campers. But a significant number of people believed it was something far more sinister, an actual entity haunting that remote piece of land. What do you think? Bears are very curious creatures. They'll go anywhere to satisfy their curiosity. One night, a family with a property in the woods got a big surprise when they found a bear inside one of their parked cars. The bear was rummaging through the car, probably looking for food or anything interesting. As soon as it noticed the people around, it bounded out of the car. Now, we don't know if the animal opened the door on its own or if the door was already open, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was the former. Bears are incredibly smart and have been known to figure out how to open car doors, especially when they're motivated by the scent of something tasty. Just imagine the scene. You're settling in for the night, maybe watching TV or getting ready for bed, when you hear some noise outside. You look out and see a bear inside your car, tossing things around like it's on a treasure hunt. It's a mix of shock, fascination, and maybe a bit of amusement. Bears' curiosity often gets them into these kinds of situations. They're always on the lookout for easy food sources, and a car can sometimes hold all sorts of interesting smells and treats. It's a reminder of the importance of keeping vehicles locked and free of food or anything that might attract these intelligent and powerful animals.
Wow, he's big!
A homeowner set up a camera in their washroom one night, and when they retrieved the footage, they found something incredible. An alligator, or at least a reptilian creature close to it, standing on the closed toilet seat. Now, I don't know where this person lives or the situation of their house, but how in the world does a creature like that get into their house and into the washroom? It's pretty wild when you think about it. Some skeptics are suggesting that this might be CGI, and honestly, in this age of digital manipulation, that's a fair consideration. But let's entertain the possibility that it's real for a moment. Alligators are known to turn up in unexpected places, especially in areas where they are common, like the southern United States. They can be surprisingly adept at getting into tight spots. They might come up through plumbing if they find their way into the sewer system, although that's pretty rare and more of an urban legend. But if we set aside the CGI theory, there are a few ways an alligator might end up in a bathroom. One possibility is that it entered the house through an open door or window and made its way to the washroom. Another more adventurous idea is that it might have been someone's unusual pet that got loose. Someone found this strange creature walking on the ground. It was some sort of insect with what looked like little sticks sticking out from its back. I had never seen this before until I did a little research and found out that this is called a bagworm. Bagworms are fascinating creatures. They're actually the larvae of moths, and they create protective cases around themselves using silken bits of plant material like twigs and leaves, which is why it looked like it had sticks sticking out of its back. These cases or bags provide camouflage and protection as the larvae feed on foliage. What's really interesting about bagworms is their life cycle. These larvae hatch and immediately begin to build their protective bags, which they carry around with them as they move. When they pupate, they do so inside these bags. The adult males emerge as moths, but the females often remain in their bags, where they lay eggs to start the cycle anew. While they might look a bit creepy or unusual at first glance, bagworms are a natural part of many ecosystems. They can, however, become pests if their population grew too large, as they can defoliate trees and shrubs. So next time you see what looks like a walking bundle of sticks, you'll know you're looking at a bagworm.
Hey! What are you doing over there?
A man was walking by the forest when he spotted something moving among the trees. It was a ghostly humanoid creature appearing like white smoke shaped like a human. The entity walked behind a tree and then just vanished, leaving no trace. It looked ghostly and very unsettling, adding an eerie atmosphere to the already mysterious forest. What could this be?
Hey!
Was it a ghost, a spirit, or just a trick of the light? The man's encounter with this strange apparition raises questions and leaves us wondering about the unexplained phenomena that might be lurking in the woods.
What are you doing over there?
Graveyards are typically undisturbed places where the dead are laid to rest in peace. However, someone shared this disturbing footage showing a graveyard with numerous graves that have holes in them, as if someone had intentionally dug them up. To make it even more unsettling, these holes were filled with water. Such sights in a graveyard can be quite disturbing and are often seen as unholy or disrespectful. The question arises, who could have done this? Gravediggers, perhaps, or is there another explanation? One commenter suggested that this footage was taken at a Louisiana graveyard after Hurricane Katrina. Considering the devastation caused by Hurricane Katrina, this explanation seems plausible. The severe flooding and high water levels from the hurricane could have caused significant disruption to the graves, leading to the appearance of water-filled holes. The question now is this true, or is that a cover-up for something rather ominous happening elsewhere? People can be very creepy. Take a look at this footage. A group of friends were out at night when they noticed a rather peculiar building. It was a big house with all the lights off except for one room with multiple windows that had the light on. Eerily, in each window stood a pair of legs from the waist down. The legs were not moving and the house had this strange, eerie feel to it. What could be going on there? Is it some sort of haunted house, or is there some ritual happening? The scene looks like something straight out of a horror movie, leaving everyone wondering about the mystery behind those motionless legs and the ominous atmosphere of the house. You've seen it. What do you think? Have you heard of Ceres? It's a fascinating little world that's alleged to exist in space. Ceres isn't actually a planet, but a dwarf planet. It's smaller than Mars, about 2/3 its size. You can find it in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Though Ceres was first spotted way back in 1801 by an Italian astronomer named Giuseppe Piazzi, NASA took a closer look in 2015. They sent a spacecraft called Dawn to explore it. Dawn's visit to Ceres was eye-opening. Scientists discovered bright spots on its surface which turned out to be salt deposits. This suggests that Ceres might have, or had, some water beneath its surface. The glowing effect of these bright spots comes from sunlight reflecting off the salty patches. Ceres is about 590 miles wide, making it the biggest object in the asteroid belt and the only dwarf planet in that part of our solar system. You can't see Ceres with the naked eye because it's too small and too far away. It's over 250 million miles from Earth, so it's just a tiny speck in the vastness of space. Even with a telescope, it appears as a faint dot. That has me thinking, what do we know more about what's hiding in plain sight? Some archaeologists recently unearthed something truly intriguing, a mummified head of what appears to be an alien-looking creature. This head is elongated and has an almost otherworldly appearance, as if it was severed from its body. For years, there have been countless stories and theories about the existence of aliens. While details about this discovery are still scarce, it raises a tantalizing question. Could this be the proof of alien life we've all been waiting for? This discovery could potentially revolutionize our understanding of extraterrestrial life. Is it a relic from a long-forgotten civilization that had contact with beings from another world, or perhaps a genetic anomaly from an ancient human? Julius isn't sure about this one and wants to look into it. That's a first because he normally just tosses these out. Fingers crossed, let's see what he makes out of this. During an eclipse, some observers captured a truly bizarre scene in the sky. A flaming orb was flying through the sky, and atop this orb stood a dark, humanoid figure. I've seen a lot of strange things, but this one is truly otherworldly. What could this flaming orb be, and who or what could the figure standing on it be? This sighting raises numerous intriguing questions. The flaming orb could potentially be explained by natural phenomenon such as a rare atmospheric condition or a meteor. Sometimes natural events can take on unexpected appearances, especially when viewed through the unique lighting conditions of an eclipse. However, the presence of a dark humanoid figure standing atop the orb complicates this explanation. Personally speaking, I don't know what to make of it. Can you? Wondering what we are looking at here? Well, scientists have created tiny robots that can move and join individual cells. This amazing technology is called microscale robotics for single-cell manipulation. These tiny robots are incredibly precise and can work at the scale of a single cell. giving us control over how cells behave and interact. They could be used in many exciting ways in medicine and biology, like delivering drugs exactly where they're needed, repairing tissues, or studying how cells act in different situations. Imagine being able to fix damaged tissues, creating new tissues for transplants, or even cure diseases by targeting them at the cellular level. This technology completely changed how we approach medical treatments and scientific research, opening up new possibilities for healthcare. I don't know about you, but this has me fascinated and excited. This man was prying open a huge rock and discovered something strange inside. There were these spiral shapes on both ends of the broken pieces. When I checked the comments, several people mentioned that this could be fossilized ammonite. Ammonites are ancient marine creatures that lived millions of years ago, and their spiral shells have been preserved in rocks. Finding one of these fossils is like holding a piece of prehistoric history in your hands. What do you think of this find? Wouldn't it be amazing to come across something so ancient and mysterious?
Chris Bledsoe's case, he's one who's having interactions with orbs on a continuous basis.
During an interview, Colonel John Alexander talks about Chris Bledsoe, a man who claims to see and communicate with what he believes are otherworldly beings. These beings appear to him in the form of orbs.
Object. I just walked out and asked for it to appear, and there it is. It's going right over the pond, totally silent. Now it's dimming down. Thank you. You can see it getting dimmer.
So are these sightings really true? Are the orbs that are being spotted almost every single day around the world actually beings? It's a fascinating topic that sparks a lot of debate. Some people, like Chris Bledsoe, are convinced that these orbs are intelligent beings from another realm or dimension. They report experiences where the orbs seem to interact with them in purposeful ways, suggesting a form of communication. On the other hand, skeptics argue that these orbs could have some more mundane explanations. They could be natural phenomena like ball lightning or other atmospheric conditions. They might also be an optical illusion, reflections, or even artifacts from camera lenses. What do you think? While venturing to an abandoned house in the woods, someone came across a strange creature standing at the window. It was a terrifying sight. The creature's face was black and white, and its eyes were pure white. It had razor-sharp teeth and emitted haunting sounds as it turned its head looking around. But what could this creature be? Some in the paranormal community think it could be a paranormal entity, while others believe it might just be a person in makeup or a costume. Without more evidence, it's hard to say for certain what the creature is. What do you think? Is this creature a genuine paranormal entity, or could it be someone playing an elaborate trick? Summer comes with a lot of heat, so people easily get dehydrated. Because of this, they often go for juicy fruits, especially watermelons. Due to the high demand, some sellers resort to unethical practices. They inject substances called adulterants into the watermelons to make them look redder and riper and last longer on the shelves. However, not everyone does this, so how can you identify the good ones? Here's what you do. First, check for any white dust on the watermelon. This could be a substance used to artificially ripen the fruit. Next, choose watermelons with yellow patches on them. These patches indicate that the fruit ripened naturally on the ground and are likely to be sweeter. Watermelons with webbed markings are also a good choice. These markings are a sign of natural pollination and often result in better tasting fruit. Lastly, when you cut through the watermelon, run a white tissue over the flesh. If the tissue gets stained red, it's a sign of artificial color enhancement. I hope these tips help you pick the best watermelons for the hot summer. Stay hydrated and enjoy your fruit.
The most obvious fae trap I have ever seen.
Have you ever heard of fae traps? A According to folklore, these are traps set by fairies to lure humans into their realm. These traps can take various forms, often appearing as something innocuous or beautiful. Recently, a girl went out to pick flowers with her sister and came across something extraordinary. Amidst the blooms, she noticed a small white-petaled flower that was rotating like a fan. She immediately identified it as a fey trap. This rotating flower is known as the Claytonia cordifolia. These flowers are indeed beautiful, but what baffles many is how the petals rotate in such a mesmerizing way. Is this a natural phenomenon, or is there something more magical at play? Share your thoughts.
Ever seen?
I'm gonna go touch it.
No, Maria, you're gonna get kidnapped.
While standing on a cliff and gazing down at the ocean below, someone came across a fascinating sight. In the water, a large fish with its gills prominently displayed on both sides of its body was swimming. This fish looked enormous and bore a striking resemblance to a shark. It moved menacingly, almost as if it was waiting for someone to jump into the water. As it turns out, this fish is indeed a shark, specifically a basking shark. The basking shark is the second largest shark species right after the whale shark. Despite its intimidating size and appearance, this giant is not deadly. Basking sharks feed on plankton, constantly swimming with their mouths wide open and their gills stretched wide to trap their tiny prey. Though they pose no direct threat to humans, their rough skin can cause scratches if someone brushes against them. Even with this knowledge, the sight of such a massive shark gliding through the water would likely deter many people from venturing anywhere near it. Would you dare to get close to a basking shark?
God, look at these big-ass mosquitoes here!
Now let's take a look at another strange footage that was posted online. A man shared what he thought were very huge mosquitoes flying about, but when you look closer, you would notice that these are no mosquitoes. The creatures had what looked like transparent wings, almost glass-like, and their bodies were human-like. They resembled fairies. I don't know what this man was seeing, but those clearly are not mosquitoes. This sighting was truly fascinating. The transparent glass-like wings and human-like bodies are features that set these creatures apart from any known insect species, including mosquitoes. What do you guys think we're dealing with here?
Big-ass mosquito!
There have been countless tales of sea monsters throughout history, from hydras to the Loch Ness Monster and even sea serpents. Now take a look at this intriguing footage. Someone captured something moving in the water from afar. It was long and big, with about 3 fin-like structures on its back, each a reasonable distance from the other. Whatever this is, it must be truly enormous. The sight of this mysterious creature has sparked a lot of speculation. Some viewers believe it could be a modern-day sea serpent, an ancient creature from the depths that has eluded discovery. Others think it might be an unidentified marine animal, possibly a new species. What do you think? A subscriber sent us some truly intriguing footage. While exploring the woods, they stumbled upon a bizarre sight nestled among the trees, a triangular-shaped structure with a silhouette of something sitting inside. The footage is pretty shaky, making it hard to make out the details. The dim light filtering through the canopy adds an eerie atmosphere, amplifying the sense of mystery. Despite the unclear visuals, the sender is convinced that what they captured was none other than Bigfoot sitting calmly within this strange structure. The structure looks like a makeshift shelter built by an intelligent being, perhaps even Bigfoot itself, or it could be that the silhouette is a trick of the light or a more mundane animal like a bear. No, who knows? But share your thoughts on what you think this could be. The nighttime can be eerie and mysterious, and this story is no exception.
Hey! Hey!
One night after a heavy snowstorm, a man and his dogs decided to venture out for a walk. The snow-covered landscape was serene, but soon their peaceful stroll took a chilling turn. In the middle of their walk, the man started recording after hearing loud vocalizations echoing from all around them. The sounds were unnerving, piercing cries that seemed to come from nowhere. There was no sign of any creature nearby, and it certainly didn't sound like a bear. But then it hit him. Could a pack of wolves be responsible? Could wolves be tailing them? Well, he wasn't sure, but somehow made it out alive to upload. Once this went live, the internet viewers had different, more sinister theories. Some suggested the sounds belonged to hellhounds, mythical creatures often associated with the underworld and bad omens. Others claimed it was La Lorena, the weeping woman from Latin American folklore whose ghostly cries are said to haunt the night. Another chilling theory was that the sounds came from a Wendigo, a malevolent spirit from Native American legend known for its eerie calls and insatiable hunger. You heard them too. What do you think we're dealing with? Next, we have this scary and, quite frankly, spine-chilling video that we have failed to come up with an explanation for. In this footage, you won't believe what we've stumbled upon. A bizarre creature that gives me serious Gollum vibes from Lord of the Rings. The creature is bald and seems to be devouring something on the ground. There's no telling what, but it notices the one filming and stares sharply in his direction. The video ends there. What do you think that is? We had to go through our list of cryptids and paranormal creatures, yet found nothing that remotely looked like or acted like this creature. Could it be a creature of the night that had escaped the Netherrealm into ours? Could it be, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, a demon? Now, before you dismiss this notion, remember that while the existence of such creatures cannot be scientifically proven, neither can they be disproven. Is this one of them, though? Well, it's hard to say. The footage could be the result of an elaborate hoax. It could also be a fake. Can we say for certain what it is? No, we can't. But as always, what do you think? In the clip, we catch a glimpse of a family enjoying a day out in the woods, possibly on a camping trip. The father is most likely teaching his sons to fish, and it looks like your classic family's day out. That is, until the father turns his gaze toward the person behind the camera, his face displaying a perplexed expression. His eyes fixate on the bushes, and the person behind the camera, likely the mother of the boys, instinctively follows his gaze, momentarily shifting the camera's focus. Based on the look the father is wearing, it's evident that there might be something or someone out there in the bushes. At first, due to the poor quality and camera shake, it's hard to make out any details, but once you stabilize the footage and slow it down, you see why the man looks so alarmed. There's something or someone out there. And no, it's not a dog or a wolf or a bear. It looks human and walks like one. But given how dark it is all over, I'm tempted to believe that it has fur all over its body. Also, if you look closely, you'll realize it's hunched a little, which is reminiscent of a Bigfoot, if you ask me. Could they have actually seen a Bigfoot? If it's indeed a Bigfoot, why was it stalking them? Share your thoughts. Dinosaur tracks. Just in case you didn't know, the state of Texas is quite popular for having dinosaur tracks. These tracks are at least 110 million years old and have been preserved in the limestone and sandstone which is prevalent in the state. Should you want to enjoy and experience these tracks, we recommend the Dinosaur Valley State Park, which has some of the most diverse, deep, and well-preserved tracks in the state. Visit the place and thank us later. Next, we have Trailcam footage that's like nothing we've ever seen before. One of the main purposes for setting up trail cams is to capture footage of wild animals in their elements, either in the forest or someone's backyard. But ever so often, people end up capturing more than they intended. One such is this footage right here. If you pay attention to the footage playing on your screen right now, you should see some strange figures of light floating. As much as they look like simulations, would you believe me if I told you that these were captured on a trail cam? When this footage popped up in the paranormal community, many were quick to dismiss it, but further scrutiny of the footage by experts revealed that it had not been tampered with. Could these strange patterns be aliens, or could we simply be witnessing a glitch in the Matrix? No one can say for sure, but one thing's for certain. The paranormal community is divided on what it may be. As mysterious as these things are, it doesn't change the fact that they are beautiful. I mean, look at them. What do you think, though? Is this an elaborate hoax, or are we truly seeing a glitch in the Matrix? Or do you think it's entirely something else that we've missed? Please do share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Next, we have a strange and eerie-looking video. In this clip, we see a young lady and a young man going through the woods and laughing. Given how the young lady laughs and looks at the young man filming their time in the woods, I would not be surprised if they were together. Taking a closer look at the footage, it either looks like the lady is topless or she's got a very small top on. It's hard to tell because of the quality of the clip. Not to jump to conclusions, but perhaps they had something naughty planned. Whatever the case, they won't see it come to fruition. A very short creature appears from nowhere and starts to move in their direction. The creature, however, seems particularly interested in the girl. She, on the other hand, is amused seeing this ape-like short and, for a lack of better words, ugly creature taking an interest in her. She approaches it, and then it launches at her. At that moment, she starts running from it, and so does the cameraman. But what is that? Initially, we had no idea, but after reviewing local folklore for where the footage was taken, we realize it's called a palm barrow. It's a very small cryptid that's said to go after naughty girls. It kisses them and sometimes gets intimate with them. Given what the lady is wearing and where they are, perhaps they had a naughty agenda planned, which may have lured Dawn Palm Barrow out. But what do you think? For our next footage, we visit Fairfield, Ohio. I know you spotted the man running in the first few seconds of the clip, but trust me, it's not due to an earthquake or thieves on his tail. No, it's something much more ominous and sinister. Listen. Did you hear it? This guy has been hearing these spine-chilling sounds emanating from the woods, and he has no clue what they are. As the sounds grew louder and more terrifying, he made up his mind to gather some evidence. When the sounds resumed, he hurriedly dashed outside, hence why you catch a glimpse of him running. He insists those sounds were way more bone-chilling and nerve-wracking than they come across on record. And you know what? We believe him. One question remains. What was making that sound? The uploader of the footage believes it's a Bigfoot. What say you? What appears to be a picture of Trailcam footage being played on another screen. A closer look at the image and you'll realize there's a creature, or rather a cryptid, on the display. This cryptid looks like a blend of both human and ape features. Unlike your typical ape, however, this Bigfoot stands upright on its two legs. The proportion of its hands and legs bears great resemblance to that of a human, but the fur on the body does not. Due to the position of the light in the capture and the quality of the image, it's hard to tell what the face of this creature looks like, but I doubt it looks human. What could it be? The paranormal community is convinced it's a Bigfoot, and so is the individual who sent the capture in. Apparently, there have been Bigfoot sightings around the area where the Trailcam captured the footage. Given that the creature captured in the image is at least 9 feet tall, it doesn't sound too far-fetched. Or what do you think? Tell us in the comments section. Next, we have this capture from upstate New York. It's a picture of a deer, but once you look closer, you realize that there's definitely something wrong with that deer. It looks like what you'd expect a cartoon character to look like. For one, it has forward-facing eyes, which has left many in both scientific and paranormal communities wondering what's going on with this deer. If you're confused about what I'm referring to, get a picture of a normal deer and compare it side by side with this particular one. Do you see it? A chunk of the paranormal community members believe they have answers and know what's happening with the deer. They believe this is no ordinary deer and is in fact a skinwalker. They state that it has oddities due to the fact that it's a human witch trying to take the form of an animal, and the oddities we see are nothing more than imperfections with the transformation. While that sounds plausible, it's quite the stretch, but we have no other explanations for it. Do you? Tell us in the comments section, please. Next, we have this footage from 2012. The video was recorded by a man who kept seeing a young ghost girl in the woods close to his home. Perplexed by the reoccurring encounters with the ghostly girl, he decided to record her, unsure if capturing a ghost on camera was even possible or if the ghost would reveal herself. During the initial moments of the footage, there's nothing apparent. However, keep a close eye on the left side of the screen, and you might catch a glimpse. Did you see it? It's faint, but a little girl runs out of frame at the left side of the screen. She appears from behind the tree and quickly runs off. In contrast to numerous online ghost videos featuring exaggerated apparitions, this one maintains a subtlety that lends its authenticity. And you know what? It makes me think this could be the real deal. But what do you think? Now we visit a country we haven't been to before, Costa Rica. While this sounds like a tropical paradise, do not be deceived. There are creatures that lurk in the dark. Don't believe me? Watch this footage. Did you see that? In the footage, we hear and see the dogs barking. While you might be tempted to think it's normal dog behavior, you realize it's not when you pay attention to the footage. The dogs are not just barking for the sake of it. Instead, they seem to be barking at something in the dark. Whatever it is, it soon shows itself in the dark and walks or crawls or whatever it's doing into the frame. Not only is this creature weird looking, but it also moves weirdly. What could it be? It's hard to say. I mean, have you ever seen anything like it? It's like a bizarre blend of spider and crab, judging by its movements and appearance. The creature is so odd that I was tempted to think it's a fake. That was until we came across a different angle of the same footage on TikTok. This one was taken by individuals and not a security cam. Even though we can't comprehend their words, one thing is clear. It's the same street and the creature is lurking in the far distance. Does that mean the footage is real? We'll leave that up to you to judge. As a hiker ventured along his well-trodden path, a desire to capture its enchanting allure urged him to wield his camera, immortalizing each fleeting moment. Let's take a look at what he captures. Entering a remote stretch of the trail, a small rabbit graces his path. Swiftly zooming in with his camera, he pauses, captivated by the serenity of the scene. Regrettably, this tranquil interlude is abruptly shattered. A growing unease takes hold, gnawing at him without a clear cause. Resolute but puzzled, he chooses to retrace his steps. The further he ventures into the woods, the more unsettling the occurrence has become, prompting his steps to hasten. An eerie symphony envelops him, whispering secrets only the forest knows. Swiftly he turns, only to find that the rabbit, phantom or reality, has vanished without a trace. Amid the disquiet, a faint voice emerges from the depths of the woods, a mere whisper of, "Hi there," or perhaps my senses deceive me. Soon, however, the whispers morph into what seems like a woman's voice.
He was right there.
The sounds, however, are far from comforting. They carry an eerie and distressing tone. Scared, he quickly runs out of the place and posts this online, asking for input and help on what he may have seen. While he and many who viewed the footage believe this quick departure may have saved his own life, a user in the original post proposed an unsettling theory. They suggested the voice sounded like that of a woman who had been gagged, pleading for help. They believe he had the opportunity to save someone who'd been kidnapped or someone who was being trafficked. Watching it on repeat again, I'm tempted to agree with the second person. What do you personally think? Stepping away from the mysterious, let's look at something humorous. Have you ever seen a bear scratch itself? Watch this footage. Given that they don't have arms or the flexibility we do, they have to count on external means to scratch their backs. Most bears also live alone, leaving them with no assistance. During such times, trees become their best companions. And let's be honest, when you add music to the mix, their back scratching resembles a dance. Have you ever seen a bear do this in real life? Tell us in the comments section. Next, we have another capture of the dogman-wolfman creature we shared earlier. This was received separately, albeit from the same location. I can't help but think it might actually be a never-before-seen type of cryptid. The increasing number of captures suggests that these creatures might be multiplying or that our presence in their territory is more frequent than ever before. What are your thoughts? Would you chase down Bigfoot if you ever saw him? If you answered no, then clearly you haven't seen this clip. A man was out with his family when, out of nowhere, he spotted an ape-like creature strolling down the street. It was brief, but it was enough for the man to know that his family was in danger. He quickly asked them to go inside, but instead of joining them, he pursues the creature into the bushes. The creature desperately attempts to flee from him. It swiftly dashes through the bushes, emanating peculiar vocalizations. It seems as if it were issuing a warning, compelling the man to keep his distance. The man persists in pursuit until the creature abruptly halts its sprint. Once it stops running, it starts pacing up and down with more aggressive vocalizations. It was almost as though the creature was contemplating whether to attack or stay away. While this was ongoing, the man realizes the creature was not as small as it looked from the distance. Now that he could see it up close, he realizes that it was at least 7 foot tall and had fur all around. Although it looked like an ape minus its giant size, it moved like a man. At that moment, a light bulb went off in his head, as you can see in cartoons. He realized that he'd been chasing a Bigfoot. That sudden realization made him back off, and thankfully the creature was not interested in harming him. He might just be one of the luckiest men in the world. I have had chills, but never have I had chills down my spine like this before. And guess the culprit. The next footage I'm about to show you, the footage was taken by residents of Oregon way back in 2013. From the depths of the woods, a chorus of hysterical laughter echoes through the night, sending shivers down spines and chills through souls. The very air seems to vibrate with the eerie sound, a melody that's both haunting and otherworldly. No one knows what or who was making the sounds, but one dared venture into the woods to find out. Some speculate it could be a hyena, a creature known for its distinctive cackles, but with every passing moment, doubt creeps in. The sheer loudness and persistent nature of the laughter seems to defy any logical explanation. Whatever this entity is, it's not your typical forest dweller. We've been asking you to send in your footage, and one subscriber sent in these odd and enigmatic captures, and they are just the way we like them. Have a look. These captures were taken in the woodlands some time ago. They're oddly intriguing us, making it challenging to determine their nature. In the captures, we see some kind of dog-furred creature moving through the leaves. While the features are different to discern, it's clear that the creature in the footage bears no resemblance to humans or any known wildlife. From the capture, we can tell that whatever it is, assuming it's not a large shadow or simply a function of the camera, is huge. This leads us to consider the intriguing possibility that we might be dealing with a cryptid. And which cryptid fits the bill? Well, you guessed it, Bigfoot. Could this enigmatic figure be Bigfoot? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Next, we have another Bigfoot capture from the Washington Peninsula. This is a more recent capture that is as recent as either 2021 or 2022. In the capture, we see an ape-like creature moving through the woods. You don't need me to tell you at this time that it has a human-like gait as well, but it does. Before you throw this out of the window and disprove it, the uploader added more details, including having seen it multiple times and heard it talk. Yes, you heard me right. They heard the creature talk, although he can't confirm the words were intelligible. He went back to the same area and found these large footprints. Yes, you don't need me to tell you they belong to the Bigfoot. It's literally in the name. Not only were they large, but deep too, to show that the creature was quite heavy. He went back again when it started snowing and found these footprints. These were found 10 miles from the Canadian border, which should tell you how dedicated the man was to finding Bigfoot. These discoveries suggest that Bigfoot is more mobile than we once believed, unless, of course, there are multiple creatures roaming the Washington area. What do you think, though? A profound find or a questionable one? This was supposed to be Trailcam capture of foxes and other small predators. Instead, it ended up being something more. If you carefully pay attention to the footage playing, you'd realize that aside from the canine we see in the foreground, there were two sets of eyes that appeared and then disappeared in an unnatural and eerie way. Did you catch that? What do you think it is? Could it be just another predator stalking the fox, or is there a night creature out there hiding from the camera? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Two men went hiking on the Indian fort when they spotted a dark, furry creature from afar. The creature looked to be about 7 feet to 8 feet tall. Walking amidst the tall grass, the hikers concealed themselves behind a tree to film the creature. Their conversation reveals genuine fear, their voices trembling as they speak.
Oh my
God.
What is that thing, man? I didn't know it was that fucking big. It's not coming up here, is it?
No,
The creature was as big as a bear, but it looks to be walking on 2 feet like a human. Someone might say it's a gorilla, but gorillas walk with both their hands and feet. If you're frequently on this channel, then you already know what the diagnosis for this creature would be. A Bigfoot. Upon closer examination of the footage, one can notice that the creature is not too far from the filmmakers. Surprisingly, it appears completely unaware of their presence and their hushed conversations. Could this be an elaborate hoax, or am I thinking things? Share your thoughts in the comments section. This footage was taken by a woman who heard a knock at her door and went to check it out. Instead of a human visitor, she was met with this situation right here. An eerie-looking deer staring straight at her. While a normal deer would typically flee, this one stood its ground, fixating its gaze on the woman, penetrating her very soul. Filled with terror, the woman hastily closed the door, realizing the animal had a clear intention of entering her house. Could this deer have been possessed, or is it a skinwalker waiting to be invited in to harm her? Skinwalkers are known to shapeshift into animals, and the only way to know if an animal you are dealing with is a skinwalker is if the creature acts abnormally, just like this deer is doing. They also try to lure people in by making weird noises or approaching them, which looks exactly like what this deer might have been trying to do. But what do you think about the whole thing? Did the woman dodge a bullet, or are we overthinking everything? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Now tell me, what do you see? A bear, an ape, or an amalgamation of the two? It's not so easy, is it? At first glance, it appears to have a bear's face, but its body proportions defy those of a bear. In fact, they bear a striking resemblance to those of an ape. But here's the twist. Upon closer inspection, you notice that despite the ape-like proportions, the creature moves with a human-like gait, upright on 2 feet. Could this be a Bigfoot? However, based on our current knowledge, Bigfoots don't possess a bear-like visage. It's typically ape-like or more human-like, meaning it couldn't be. What about the legendary Dogman or Wolfman? While the concept of a Dogman seems plausible, the notion of a Wolfman raises more questions. Given its canine characteristics, it's understandable that it might resemble either of these bipedal entities. But what do you think? Is it a Dogman, Wolfman, or an entirely new cryptid we have never seen? Is it real at all? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Next, we have this creepy clip that's not exactly from the wild, but offers a similar thrill, if not more. In the clip, we see a woman call out to her pet dog who is laying down staring at something out of frame. The one recording the footage is obviously curious and tries to see what has her dog's attention. She walks in and is met with these weird-looking eyes staring from the darkness. She almost immediately gasps and then retreats. One question remains. What is that creature? The one who recorded and uploaded the video believes it could be some type of cryptid, and given the bizarre circumstances, that's not impossible, but we have watched the footage over and over and can't help but feel it might be a cat or a raccoon or some other small creature. A closer look, and it looks like the creature is sitting on something. What do you see, though? Next, we have this footage of another wild animal exploring the night. As majestic as the creature looks, however, it's not our major point of focus. Take a look at the right side of your screen when the footage starts. Did you see that rectangular white shape? The uploader of the footage initially thought it was a result of recording in the night. However, when he showed it to an expert who reviewed the tape, he was told something like that shouldn't have been there. In other words, the rectangular thing does not exist in the raw footage of the clip, yet somehow shows up during playback. Upon further analysis by the paranormal community, it was concluded that similar to the orbs often seen in the footage, this rectangular anomaly signifies heightened spiritual activity, potentially surpassing the significance of the orbs themselves. As intriguing as that may sound, it's the first we've heard of it and would want to know what you think or if you've had any experiences with this. We can't wait to read your comment. Next, we visit Texas, where there have been sightings of a large black cat. Now, why should this be something odd? If you know anything about big cats, you know that the large black ones are typically black panthers or jaguars, and the thing is, none of these are native to the Texas region. So how then do they keep popping up on trail cams? Well, the answer isn't so simple, but there are many theories. To start, experts believe that the black cats everyone appears to be seeing might simply be the jaguarundi, which is native to northern Mexico and South and North America. Experts suspect that a stray population of these creatures could have made their way to the region, causing numerous sightings. The paranormal community, however, believe that something more sinister could be going on, such as shapeshifters or even skinwalkers roaming the region. Both of these sound like a far-fetched, but what do you think? For our next footage, we travel back in time to the Tatra Mountains of Poland in 2009. A group of friends were exploring the mountains and filming the experience when they saw what looked like a large man or a creature in the snow quite a distance from them. Shocked, they zoomed in trying to make out who or what and how they made it to such a remote part of the mountains. When the video was uploaded online, there was a frenzy in the paranormal community. Unbeknownst to the hikers, their recording had captured an elusive Bigfoot. It was inconceivable for a large man to be traversing such a remote and frigid expanse without proper winter attire. The creature or person they saw had nothing of that sort on. The community concluded that the black overall was simply fur and that the carefree nature of the creature simply meant it lived there. Although Poland isn't commonly associated with Bigfoot sightings, could this be the first Bigfoot sighting in Poland? Tell us what you think. Stepping away from that dark and quite frankly very disturbing footage, we have this rare capture of a Bigfoot that was even featured on TV in 2014. Just like all other Bigfoot captures, this creature has an ape-like body yet a very human-like gait. Unlike other Bigfoot footage, this capture is remarkably close to the camera, providing a more detailed, albeit blurry view. As we can see from the capture, the creature moves quickly, but we get a good look at its body. It doesn't look like a suit, and neither does it look like CGI. Considering the technological limitations of the time, CGI would have been incredibly challenging. Moreover, the positioning of shadows and other details in the footage appears to be consistent. The paranormal community and even some non-believers believe this is the real deal. What do you think? If the enigmatic lady gave you shivers, what follows might just send you tumbling into a whirlwind of spine-tingling disbelief. Brace yourselves, for the stage is now set for a nightmarish performance captured by the ever-watchful lens of a Trailcam. A creature not of this world or realm emerges from the shadows, a colossal figure, wolf-like in form, but oh so much more. Glowing eyes pierce through the darkness, their radiance reminiscent of moonlight. This entity, this aberration that defies the very fabric of logic, boasts muscles that would make even Schwarzenegger raise an eyebrow. Imagine a wolf sculpted by the hands of a bodybuilder, a creature whose brawn could wrestle with the very essence of fear itself. As if that was not enough, it has a face that strikes terror into the hearts of the stoutest souls. Although we may never experience its bite, it has teeth that appear to be as sharp as a guillotine's blade, and for some odd reason it has eyes locked onto the camera with great, yet fearful intensity. That's certainly no ordinary wolf. I mean, its features look like a splice between human and wolf DNA. The proportions are all wrong. This creature stands defiantly on the outskirts of normalcy, its very size a challenge to reality itself. If you love the paranormal, identifying this shouldn't be too hard. It's definitely a werewolf. But is this image real, though? If there truly is a creature out there that looks like this, well, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. What do you think? Still on the subject of Bigfoot, you might want to see this next footage taken that might just be the most controversial Bigfoot post we have ever made. In the first few seconds of the footage, we see a struggle between whoever is recording and a larger creature. The creature appears ape-like. According to the explorer whose video it is, that was a scuffle between himself and Bigfoot. Sounds wild, right? And there's more to the story. This intrepid explorer claims to have successfully killed the creature. He even provides pictures and, more astonishingly, the corpse's evidence. Let's take a look. Yep, that's Bigfoot according to the explorer. He actually believes and states he killed Bigfoot. If you're struggling to see the Bigfoot in the footage, it might be due to his actions, but let's pause for a moment. What are your thoughts? Could he have indeed met the creature, or is this a made-up story to get famous? Share your thoughts and feelings in the comments section. For our next footage, I think it'd be best if you saw it before you heard anything I had to say. Did you see that? What do you make of it? The individuals behind the camera believe they captured a sighting of a skinwalker. Now, let's delve into the analysis. The video begins with a group of young men capturing a breathtaking landscape on camera. It appears they were on a hike, trek, or camping expedition, eager to document the beauty surrounding them. Their peaceful recording is abruptly disrupted when an individual dashes into the frame only to vanish just as quickly. At first glance, it may not seem out of the ordinary, but upon closer inspection, you'll notice something unsettling about the man's appearance. His arms are of unnatural proportions, and he runs a little hunched across the screen. It's no surprise that the young man suspected could be a skinwalker. But is it, though? Opinions within the paranormal community are divided, with some believing it's a skinwalker, while others remain skeptical. They find it hard to believe. After all, how could they conveniently be filming at the exact spot where the skinwalker appeared, seemingly out of nowhere, and managed to capture it on camera? But what do you think? Is this a genuine case of a skinwalker, or do you smell an elaborate hoax? Share your thoughts with us. Have you ever had that feeling that someone was watching you from the darkness? Well, I'm pretty sure that's exactly how the fox in the Trailcam footage you are seeing now felt. The fox was leisurely exploring its environment when, all of a sudden, it came to a halt. Its gaze was fixated on the trees as if sensing a presence lurking within the bushes. At first glance, you see nothing, but once you carefully look in the direction of its gaze, you see it. There's something out there. We see two eyes dazzling with light looking at the fox. The fox is supposed to be a predator, but it looks like it's about to become prey. This mysterious entity looms larger than the fox, seemingly having stalked it unnoticed for quite some time. It's hard for us to say exactly what it is, but what do you think it is? Is it merely another wild animal with a predatory interest in the fox, or are we gazing upon an otherworldly creature? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Next, we have this trail cam footage that's had us scratching our heads. What do you see in the footage? It starts off looking like your everyday trail cam capture, a nice capture of a raccoon going about its business in the evening, but look up. Do you see it? Right in the top corner of the footage, there are a set of lights moving in a way that makes me believe they're from the same aircraft. But no human aircraft have lights arranged like that unless I'm unaware, which I highly doubt. To add to that, there are no flight paths where this footage was taken. What could we be dealing with then? Well, the answer is simple: a potential spacecraft. Just a few weeks ago, my claims might have seemed far-fetched, but considering that certain well-known government entities are now monitoring spacecrafts, I don't think I'm too far off the mark. Seriously though, what do you think that thing in the footage is? Tell us in the comments section. The stage is set for a spine-tingling tale from the depths of the unknown. In this footage, we have a crew of brave sewage workers descending into the underbelly of an abandoned sewer in Liverpool, but guess what they encounter on their way down? As the intrepid explorers ventured deep into the subterranean labyrinth, a flicker of movement in the shadows caught their attention. A mysterious figure, an enigmatic intruder lurking in the darkness. Did I say intruder? It looked like it was pretty much at home. Perhaps the sewage workers were the ones invading its home and had to make sure it was safe. Either way, eager to capture this unearthly encounter, they whipped out their trusty recording device, turning the scene into a reel straight out of a found footage thriller. And there, in the obsidian abyss, behold the unexpected, a pair of luminous eyes akin to stars glimpsing through the fabric of the cosmos. As soon as the eyes noticed they were being filmed or watched, they retreated. Within seconds, however, those glowing eyes returned, accompanied by a spectral arm reaching out from the darkness, its fingers tracing the very walls as if they held secrets untold. Alas, the jig was up. The creature had been caught in the spotlight, and in a flash it scurried away like a character fleeing the scene of a crime. What manner of being is this, you ask? A creature straddling the line between the human and the monstrous, its arms hinting at a humanoid form, while its radiant eyes evoke the eerie allure of the unknown. There's only one creature that fits this description: the Rake. What do you think? The footage was captured in the woods and shows an ape-like creature casually moving through the woods. Unlike the other Bigfoot footage seen, this one is a bit controversial to me. The dog fur looks like a coat or a suit, and the being moves like a human with human body proportions. What do you think though, real or fake? Tell us in the comments section. Next, we take a trip to a creepy inn in England. Wow, that's quite a mouthful. Anyway, back to our clip. Would you visit a place that has a reputation for being creepy and weird with a lot of unexplained paranormal occurrences? If you answered no, you are not alone, but such an answer would be unacceptable for the individuals responsible for the clip. They decided to visit the ancient Ram Inn, knowing perfectly well that the place was well known for creepy occurrences. Once they were settled in, they decided to offload their bags and set up a camera in hopes of capturing a paranormal occurrence on camera. It didn't take too long, however, as their camera bag started to move by itself once they were almost done setting up their camera. Luckily, the camera was already rolling, and we managed to capture the entire incident on film. If you pay attention to the audio, you'll hear a woman's startled remarks. Personally, I don't see why they're shocked because they signed up for it. Take it from this footage. Before choosing your next inn or hotel, make sure you do your homework. Those funny stories you've heard about a place, unless you're actively seeking thrills, it's best not to randomly choose a place to spend the night during your trip. Who knows what horrors you may encounter? You have been warned. This footage was captured in Vietnam. As you can see, a group of people is standing around the statue of the Virgin Mary. However, if you listen to the audio in the background of the video, you can hear those recording the footage panicking. The reason does not become apparent until a few seconds after. Watch the clip. Did you see that? The statue moved. If you know or have seen a statue before, you know that they're not bendable or floppy. Talk less about the statue of the Virgin Mary. It's supposed to be a solid structure, so how did that happen? No one knows, perhaps a miracle of some sort. To some, this will be scary, and to others, it's a miracle. After all, statues coming to life are unheard of. But when they have to do with a religious figure, then you can expect to hear tales of how it's a miracle. Anyone who knows about the Virgin Mary knows she's a strong religious figure to the Catholics. The religion subscribes to the idea and existence of demons, angels, and spirits. Could this be a manifestation of one of those spirits, or is someone simply playing with the hearts and emotions of religious fanatics? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Take a look at a similar situation. This domestic goat was caught unaware by its owner walking on 2 feet. Goats sometimes stand on their 2 feet, so why is this any different? Well, although goats do stand, they don't stand as long as this did or move in that eerie fashion it did. The goat took familiar steps, carefully moving hoof by hoof as a human would. The goat's movements looked like it was in some kind of a trance, almost as if it was possessed. Not only that, but it seems to have enchanted the cock following right behind. Could that goat be possessed, or are we once again overthinking things? Share your thoughts with me. Imagine driving on your favorite highway, if that's a thing, and coming across something like this. Would it scare you, or would you be totally chill about it? Well, the one who sent these pictures in was far from chill. He was not freaking out either. He was just overly excited. He thought that he'd caught a glimpse of the Bigfoot he so admires. Watching the footage, I don't blame him for thinking so. Perhaps that's probably going to be the first thing on my mind, too. The creature in question has the fur and the build to be Bigfoot. But is it really, though? Well, I'm skeptical about that. The capture is very blurry, preventing us from running an in-depth analysis. But if it were really Bigfoot roaming the highway, someone else would have stopped to record it and it would have gone on the news. Seeing as none of these things happened, I'm tempted to think it's a bear. What about you? In the footage, we see a group of friends stumble upon a truly strange creature perched atop a car tire. The creature has pale skin and an unusually elongated neck. Curiosity gets the best of one in the group, prompting them to cautiously approach with a stick in hand. What happens next is straight out of a horror movie. The creature, small in size but enormous in the spookiness department, reacts with lightning speed. At the first attempt to probe it, it retracts its head, and when the stick ventures too close for comfort once more, the creature lunges for it, making a bid to take a chomp out of the intrusive stick. As small as this thing looks, it sure looks scary and dangerous. What could this thing be? Share your thoughts. Ever see a dancing deer? Well, watch this clip. I don't know if it's Christmas come early for this deer because it sure looks like it. This trail cam footage caught deer leaping from what I can only imagine being joy. Deer are very collected and cautious because of their status as universal prey in the wild. They're always jumpy, but not for a good reason. However, this particular deer appears to be jumpy for a whole different reason. It keeps moving up and down on the ground, wiggling its body. It's something reminiscent of how puppies behave, but this is no puppy. It's a fully grown deer, which doesn't have the luxuries domestic puppies are privy to. The most obvious of these is the continuous need to run for their lives multiple times a day. So what could have put this particular deer in a seemingly jolly mood that it jumps around like that, or could it be battling with an illness that makes it do that? Share your thoughts in the comments section. For our next Trailcam capture, we visit the woods on a rainy day. Imagine you're out in the woods exploring while it's raining, only to be stopped dead in your tracks by something that looks like a middle-aged man. You take a closer look and realize it's no man at all, as it has fur all over. Then it suddenly hits you that you're actually looking at the legendary Bigfoot. You shake with excitement, yet still tremble with fear. Sounds scary and exhilarating, does it not? Now stop imagining. That's exactly what's happening in the clip you see before. Take a closer look. You see it, don't you? It initially looked like you were seeing a middle-aged man, only for it turned out to be a creature that's at least 7 feet tall. Is that really Bigfoot, or are we dealing with a man in a costume? Tell us what you think in the comments section. A horse breeder in Ohio shared footage of one of his animals, and it left the internet talking. In the eye-catching footage, we're introduced to a creature that seems to be a blend of two very distinct animals. Its body is reminiscent of a horse, but when we set our gaze upon its head, we're met with a striking departure from equine norms. Its head bears a striking resemblance to that of a dog. Naturally, when something this unusual and baffling comes along, the internet chatter goes into overdrive. The prevailing theory suggests that perhaps a rather mysterious individual decided to take horse breeding to an entirely new level by uniting these two species. But here's the real mystery. The horse breeder who could potentially solve this captivating enigma is nowhere to be found. So for now, we're left marveling at this remarkable hybrid creature, pondering the hows and whys of its existence. Let's take a break from all the weird stuff and look at a creature we can actually identify. In this heartwarming trail cam footage, we have a deer putting on a display of its acrobatic prowess. As you watch, you'll see our full-legged friend elegantly leaping over a broken tree branch, navigating the obstacle course of its woodland home. It's like a scene straight out of a nature documentary. And I must say, Bambi's got some impressive moves. Just look at Bambi go. Have a look. Do you see it? Its red skin and what looks like horns on its head. Many in the paranormal community who first saw this image believed it was a very rare capture of a demon. After a few days of examining the footage, however, they concluded it was fake and stated that someone was trying to mess with the community. If there's one thing about the paranormal community, it's that they don't take hoaxes lightly and they threw it out. Personally, I can see why they think that it's fake, although I do believe demons are real. It looks like a CGI creation, which could have fooled me if I was not exposed to the subject already. But what do you think? Could this be real or is it fake? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Like the previous Bigfoot video, this footage was taken by a woman who heard strange noises in the forest and decided to film. The noise looked to be coming from above, on top of the trees, so you can see her filming up. But just as she was filming, she heard a rustle in the trees and moved the camera just in time to catch a glimpse of a creature lurking in the forest. The creature stood still, facing her, which allowed her to have a good look at it, even if it was brief. The creature had black fur from head to toe and appeared to be standing upright on 2 feet. There's the temptation to think it's an ape, but apes don't stand as tall as 7 feet, and neither do they walk on both feet. And there's only one creature that matches this description: Bigfoot. Typically, when Bigfoots are spotted, they flee immediately. However, this particular Bigfoot didn't even try to run. It waved at her. Did you see it? Did you see the wave? What do you make of this encounter? This is one of those moments where technology captures the intensity of nature. Here's a snapshot from a game camera that tells quite a story. In this image, you can see a deer, but there's more to it than meets the eye. This picture was taken at the precise moment when a hunter's shot hit the mark during a hunting expedition. It's like freezing time and witnessing a crucial instant in the circle of life. While hunting is a contentious topic, it's undeniable that this image encapsulates the tension, skill, and raw nature of the hunt. On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps us out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you, so please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. No, this is something much more, something much worse. Take a look. You don't need to be a scientist to know that's definitely not human. This was captured by some folks late at night at the beach site. They were going about their usual duties when one of them spotted the being, freaked out, and called the rest. The being appears to have rather pale skin with what looks like fins of some sort. Its head looks like a splice between a dog's and something humanoid. Basically, this looks so unnatural and it has got us thinking. What exactly are we dealing with? Where did it come from and why is it there? Members of the paranormal community believe it could either be a merman or an Atlantean. What thinkest thou? If you have followed and been on this channel for long, you know we only love to post Trailcam captures, but this next one has us so spooked that we just had to show it to you. Have a look. The video starts with what looks like a couple of friends enjoying a drive. This atmosphere is, however, interrupted when they realize that there's something chasing them, which is weird because they're on a highway. Glancing behind, they spot a figure, or perhaps a humanoid-like creature in pursuit. In a matter of seconds, the creature closes in, prompting them to accelerate. But how could it catch up so quickly? Who or what is this? Even Usain Bolt might struggle to match such speed. Upon closer examination, we notice the creature's white or pale skin and distinctly human-like features. Yet the extraordinary speed and appearance defy any human explanation. Our thoughts turn to the possibility of a cryptid, perhaps even the infamous rake. But can a rake move with such speed? Well, that remains a mystery, but what do you guys think? I doubt you've seen a woodpecker video funnier than this. Just watch. Now, this is something you don't come across every day, and yes, that's a woodpecker hammering, or should I say, pecking away at the window pane. It's unclear why, but if this was a restaurant and it was human, maybe a Karen, I'd say it really needed to speak to the manager. But these knocks aren't random, they've got a distinct rhythm. Pay close attention and you'll notice. It's almost as though the lad's been training in music and could distinguish between quarter notes, eighth notes, and 16th notes. All jokes aside, the beaks on those birds never cease to amaze me. They must possess remarkable strength and intensity to carry out their remarkable feats. Just imagining doing that with my head gives me a headache. Still, it's an impressive video, don't you think? It seems we've stumbled upon a creature that's not quite ready to reveal all its secrets. In the footage, we can see the lower part of the creature, which bears a striking resemblance to a fish, with its characteristic tail and fins. However, things get a little bizarre when we notice the upper body resembling some sort of insect. The creature's wriggling movements further add to the intrigue. Now, given the blurry quality of the footage, it's challenging to make a definitive identification. It could be a rare and unusual species, a genetic anomaly, or even an elaborate hoax. Nature, as we know, can sometimes serve up surprises that leave us scratching our heads, but perhaps this time someone might be impersonating nature through AI. Now imagine this, you're at the sink ready to wash your hands when you notice something unusual. In the small holes of the sink, a creature is struggling to emerge. Thankfully though, the sink drain is fitted tight, making it challenging and difficult for it to come through. This also means that we never get a clear glimpse of the creature's identity. Nevertheless, this persistent critter is giving it everything it's got, trying to squeeze its body through that confounding hole. The question that naturally springs to mind is this: what on earth, or maybe beyond, could this creature be, and how on earth did it end up in such a peculiar predicament? Now let's shift gears and bask in the heartwarming embrace of nature's comedians, the southern pigtailed macaques, the real VIPs of the jungle catwalk. These fuzzy mischief makers, known scientifically as Macaca nemestrina, are the stars of today's show. Confused? Watch this. Cute, right? Well, don't let their cherubic appearances fool you. For beneath those innocent faces lie the souls of true tricksters. Observe as they gather round the camera like paparazzi at a Hollywood premiere, curiously inspecting this alien contraption in their jungle paradise. They hop, they skip, they swing, and all the while they're plotting their next grand caper. What could that be, you ask? Hold on to your bananas, folks, for the climax is nigh. One brave, or should we say brazen, member of the troupe steps up to the plate with a glint of mischief in those mischievous eyes. It reaches out to snag the device. Is it successful, though? Well, we're watching the footage, meaning they never got away with it. Although the camera falls out of place, for some odd reason, these monkeys are unable to get away with it, fortunately for their owner. But have you had any encounters with monkeys or apes of any kind? Did they steal anything from you? Tell us in the comments section, as we'd really love to know. This next footage you're about to see was captured on a trail cam, seemingly during the near darkness of night. In the capture, we see a dense forest of trees, setting the scene for our intriguing discovery. In the center of the capture, we see a mysterious object that's practically unidentifiable. It might appear to be part of the foliage at first, but upon closer inspection, we start to see it for what it really is, a creature with peculiar scales and a green hue, giving it an otherworldly appearance. There's no way it looks like any type of plant. I mean, a little like maize, but there's no way it would pass for one. The creature, or whatever it is, also appears to have a rugged texture adorned with spikes, leaving no surface untouched. In fact, it could almost be mistaken for the relic of a cryptid encounter. Taking a gander at its suspended leg uncannily resembles that of a lizard or a chicken, perhaps. Is this an example of a mutated animal, or could it be an entirely new form of cryptid? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Out in the wilderness, there's always room for surprises, and this one certainly delivered. As it emerged from the bushes, this creature immediately piqued our curiosity. At first glance, it might give you the impression of an otherworldly being, a fox, but with longer legs and striking dark fur. Now, if we didn't know any better, we might be tempted to assume that we'd stumbled upon an alien species or some sort of paranormal entity. But here's where the magic of research comes into play. After delving into the fascinating world of fauna, we unearthed the truth. This creature is no extraterrestrial visitor, it's an earthly animal known as the maned wolf. They're not true wolves, though, but distant relatives and are actually more closely related to South American bush dogs. They more closely resemble a giant fox, which earned them another nickname, fox on stilts, for their leggy build and fox-like coloration and features. So there you have it, folks, a gentle reminder that our planet is teeming with creatures that can be just as extraordinary and baffling as any creature of legend. Whatever your thoughts of the previous video are, you can't deny that it's a fascinating world out there, and sometimes we come across creatures that leave even scientists scratching their heads. The next footage is no exception. In the dimly lit cellar, a truly peculiar creature made its appearance. This little being was seen slowly crawling across the cellar floor. What sets it apart are the three claw-like structures adorning its body. As this mysterious crawler moved, it unfolded what appeared to be webbed wings with three ominous black claws extending from each wing. Despite its diminutive size, there's an undeniable air of danger and unease surrounding this creature. I mean, the Black Widow is deadly and it's only a small spider, which means this could be much worse. Anyone know what this is? Please do share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Next, we have this strange structure that was spotted in the woods. The structure looks big enough to fit a person or even two, yet not resilient enough to provide shelter for rainfall. It had twigs and other materials tied together to make it stand strong, meaning it was put together by someone with intelligence. Because, well, let's be honest, no animal is capable of this, not even the smartest apes that I'm aware of. The issue, however, is those woods were isolated and devoid of all humans. That leaves one question. What could this be and who put it there? Was it really a structure for shelter, or is it a shrine? Is it a ritual ground for a cult of some sort? The man who discovered the place stood there wondering and pondering about the same things. His thoughts were, however, interrupted when he suddenly caught sight of a man hiding a few meters away from him. Once the man realized he was no longer hidden, he bolted, but the man filming refused to chase. He was pretty shaken up, and, well, I would be too if I were him. Why did the man run, though? Well, we can't say for certainty, but whatever the reason, it surely can't be good. Or what say you? Speaking of angels and spirits, this trail cam footage caught a spectacular sight. As you can see, a deer walks across the field in the middle of the night when all of a sudden a bright light shines, leaving three orbs floating in the footage. As beautiful as this sight is, you have to wonder, what could those orbs be? What was that flash of light? Was it a car passing by? Could it be light from an alien ship? Or is it the manifestation of something paranormal happening in the area? Could they be angels hovering around the area or some other kind of spirit beings? Well, we can't say for sure which it is, but anyone who follows this channel knows that the presence of orbs in such strange circumstances is typically an indication of paranormal activity. When it comes to this footage, however, it's hard to deduce what it was or what could be responsible. What do you think, though? Working the night shift as a security guard can be a lonely job with only the stars to keep you company. But for this vigilant guard at a pipeline station, one fateful night brought an encounter that would leave him struggling with PTSD for the rest of his life. As he patrolled the area, his sharp eyes caught sight of something unusual. Emerging from the shadows, a strange creature made a fleeting appearance, darting off into the nearby woods. This creature had a pale, hairless complexion and an unsettling, hunched posture. Fearing for his safety, the startled security guard wasted no time in beating a hasty retreat. What could that be? Well, we've had a hard time putting our fingers on it. Can you help? The footage playing out on your screen was recorded at 3 o'clock in the morning. Do you see the creature moving about like it's no one's business? What do you think it is? Can't tell? Well, you're not the only one. Many couldn't either. Some believe it's a bird's eye view of Bigfoot moving through the yard. Others believe it's a different cryptid altogether, while some wildlife experts believe it might be a skunk with its tail up. Looking at the footage, which of these do you think it might be? Next, we visit Houston, where an otherworldly creature was supposedly captured on camera. Have a look. In the image, we see a creature was walking on two legs across a field. At first glance, it looks like a stray. This dog-like creature looks skinny and hairless, almost pale. The snout looks longer. Though the picture is blurry, you can tell that it's not a normal dog. There's something odd going on with this creature. The paranormal community who caught wind of the whole thing examined the image and came out with one conclusion. It's a chupacabra. For those unfamiliar with them, chupacabras are mythical dog-like creatures that are believed to suck dry the blood of other wild animals. Yes, you heard right. They are the vampires of the animal kingdom, albeit light is not a problem for them. This creature seems to fit all the bells and whistles associated with chupacabras, especially the hairless look it has been going for. But is it really one? Could a sickly dog have been mistaken for this mythical creature? Share your thoughts in the comments section. We'd actually like to hear them. Next, we have this bizarre footage of two young boys exploring the woods. They might have gone out to seek an adventure and thrill, but what they encountered was way beyond anything they could have imagined. Confused? Watch the clip. Did you see that? Yes, that's a naked man moving in a very odd and strange way with fire set to his left. The man's movements take on a ritualistic nature as he proceeds to lift an animal skull over his head. However, the man eventually notices the young boys locking eyes with them. Filled with fear, the boys hastily flee from the scene. If this is real, it would have been quite scary, and if it were me, I wouldn't have wasted any time in there, because who knows how many of them there could have been. Yet, a part of me remains skeptical, questioning the authenticity of the footage, considering it was posted by a YouTuber seemingly seeking views. At least, those are my personal thoughts, but what are yours? It seems we've stumbled upon quite the mysterious scene in this trail cam footage. What we got here is a curious cow gazing intently at a spot off camera. When our eyes follow the cow's gaze, we're met with a surreal sight. A swirling mass of white smoke seems to coalesce into a humanoid figure donned in a robe. As this enigmatic entity takes shape, it approaches the cow and begins to perform some kind of peculiar arm dance. Now, before we get too carried away, let's entertain the possibility that this footage could be a result of skilled video editing. It's no secret that modern technology can produce some astonishing visual effects. So while we can't definitely say whether this is a genuine paranormal encounter or a well-crafted hoax, it certainly adds a dash of mystery to our day. What's your take on this intriguing footage? The story behind this next clip is nothing short of comic. During a road trip, two furry creatures were spotted from afar, walking on all twos. Thinking they had live coverage of the elusive beast, they got close, and this is what they saw. Yes, those are bears, not Bigfoots. Bears. Did you know they did that? Does anyone know why? Well, back to the individuals. The paranormal community was very upset with them for leading them on, only to discover it was a bear. I mean, how can you mistake a bear for a Bigfoot? If you had said Dogman, that's understandable, but to mistake a bear for a Bigfoot, well, that's a blunder the paranormal community will not willingly forgive. Behold the spectacle that beckons us into the heart of the woods, a sight that prompts us to question our senses. Is that a tree sprouting horns? But hold your breath, dear observers, for truth often dances on the fine line between the extraordinary and the everyday. While our minds may be inclined to plunge into the depths of the paranormal, this tale hails from a different realm, one where the spirits of tradition and ritual intertwine with the roots of the earth itself. As people of the paranormal community are tempted to believe this is a tree growing horns, fear not, dear enthusiasts of the unexplained, for the answer for this enigma lies within the annals of human history. There is an ancient ritual where the natives of the land back then put the slaughtered heads of rams into the trunk of the tree. With time as their muse, they fused with the very fibers of the tree, becoming one with its essence, an immortal testament to the connection between the tangible and the mystical. That's what's happening here, at least we think so. If you believe it's mystical, however, we won't take that from you. Photobombing is typically associated with human antics, but when another species gets in on the act, it seems that wildlife might just have more fun than we do. It's almost like a scene out of The Penguins of Madagascar, offering a glimpse into the world beyond human understanding. Take a look. This snapshot was taken, uploaded, and shared on a scorching afternoon. Amid the expanse of a sprawling plantation, two lovers are clearly reveling in the moment. Perhaps they were on a land hunting adventure, exploring a few acres of the plantation. Little did they realize their joyful moment was about to be unexpectedly interrupted by an intruder lurking in the trees. A brown-hued creature perched in the trees, emanating an air of unwavering confidence with its effortlessly executed pose. Currently, the identity of this photobomber remains a mystery, though its distinctive brown appearance is evident. Could it be a small creature like a squirrel moving in the background? Is it a much larger creature like a bear, or possibly a cryptid? Well, the online community is divided about this. What do you think? Well, if it isn't another mystery caught on camera. This time our stage is set in a parking lot and we've got a mysterious visitor strutting its stuff. At first glance, you might think it's a human, but don't be too quick to jump to conclusions. This being moves in an eerie, uncanny way. It's like its body is in a perpetually crouched state and it waddles along, giving it an otherworldly appearance. But the strangest thing of all is its appearance. It's like white smoke taking on an unusual form. There's no clear indication that this is a human being. It's almost like something from a paranormal tale or a sci-fi flick. Well, we might not have all the answers, but one thing's for sure. Our world is full of unexplained phenomena and curious sightings. In the dense Malaysian woods, a group of hunters stumbles upon this creature that defies all their expectations. It was unlike anything they had ever encountered before, a fusion of the human and animal worlds. It had a face that bore a striking resemblance to a human, coupled with a body that appeared to share characteristics with both a sloth and a raccoon. Malaysia has a rich tapestry of tales about mysterious creatures with animal bodies and human-like features, and many locals believe that this find could be one of those legendary hybrid beings. Experts and skeptics have yet to offer their official opinions on the legitimacy of this footage, so for now we find ourselves in a realm of uncertainty, pondering whether this creature is a product of folklore or a genuine anomaly in the animal kingdom. Now let's turn our gaze to the majestic and quiet character, the bull elk, a fellow who's got a peculiar way of preparing for the grand dance of romance. Look at this gentle giant adorned with an impressive crown of antlers, ready to woo the cow elks with a performance that can only be described as unconventional. Behold the spectacle known as wallowing, a practice that might seem to human eyes as if our dashing bull is getting a little too cozy with the mud. But lo and behold, there's more to this than meets the eye. The bull elk, with an air of determination worthy of a rom-com hero, plunges his antlers into the soft embraces of the earth as if he's a maestro conducting an opera of attraction. But let's not be too hasty in judgment, for in the animal kingdom, the concept of charm takes on unique forms, much like the varying genres of our favorite films. While we humans dress to the nines and dab on fragrances to woo potential partners, the animal realm takes a different route. Our dapper bull, it seems, has traded in designer suits for a mud bath, a perfume of his own making, a distinctive aroma of earthiness mingled with, well, his brand. You see, the bull elk takes the art of seduction to a whole new level. Covered in a concoction of mud and, yes, his urine, he struts his stuff in an attempt to turn the heads, or should I say hooves, of the cow elks. They sometimes do this for health reasons too, but I'm betting this guy is doing it for romance. He looks like a true lover boy channeling his inner Casanova through earthly extravagance. What do you think? Aliens are all the buzz now, and we can understand why, but this is footage from some years ago, and we can't even emphasize enough how eerie looking it is. Take a look. So, what do you see in the footage? Did you initially think it was an alien or an extraterrestrial being? If so, I wouldn't blame you. Interestingly, some individuals have been sharing snapshots of this creature on paranormal pages, claiming it to be an alien. But what if I told you that this isn't an alien at all? What if I said that what you're seeing is actually a bear? Would you be surprised? The creatures you're witnessing in the footage are actually bears that supposedly reside in a sanctuary in Germany. Strangely, they began losing their fur at a certain point without any apparent reason. In fact, even the zookeepers couldn't pinpoint the exact cause. Either way, you have to admit that bears look pretty different when they don't have that coating and fur. Although the circumstances are unfortunate, it's interesting to see. Wouldn't you say? Ahoy there, marine enthusiasts! Feast your eyes on this deep-sea denizen, the one and only goblin shark. This peculiar creature hails from the mysterious depths of our oceans. It's known for its elongated, flattened snout filled with rows of terrifying sharp teeth. But don't be too spooked. The goblin shark is rarely seen by humans thanks to its preferred habitat in the dark, cold waters of the deep sea. So while it may be dubbed the goblin shark for its unique appearance, it's more of a shadowy legend lurking beneath the waves. Who knows what other fantastic beasts are concealed in the abyssal depths of our vast oceans? Talk about a plot twist in the animal kingdom. When it comes to hopping critters, frogs and rabbits usually steal the show. But lo and behold, in this footage, we've got a creature making a hop that you'd least expect. At first glance, it might seem like a typical froggy hop, but don't be too quick to judge. Zoom in closer and you'll uncover the astonishing truth. It's a worm. Yes, you heard that right, a hopping worm. It's like a scene from a Freaky Friday movie where animals decide to swap their usual modes of movement just to keep us on our toes. Nature has a way of surprising us when we least expect it, and this little hopping worm is a fantastic reminder. Are you a fan of the Madagascar series? Then you should surely be familiar with lemurs like King Julian and his nemesis, the fossa. Have you ever wondered what these creatures look like in real life? Well, you're in luck because we have footage of them. Enjoy. In case you're wondering, yes, the fossa does prey on lemurs. However, it's important to understand that this behavior is necessary for maintaining the balance and safety of their ecosystem. They may occasionally also eat rodents, birds, reptiles, and other small critters. They have a long, slender body similar to a cat with short legs and a long tail. They have short reddish-brown fur and a muscular build, allowing them to move swiftly and climb trees proficiently. While it would be a bad idea to adopt one, you can still visit Madagascar to enjoy those creatures, but be sure to take us along. We'd want to see them too. Who or what is that? This being was caught on a trail cam in the forest. It looks to be staring straight at the camera and walking towards it. This creature appears to be a hybrid of a lion, wolf, and human. It has a head of hair that extends to its face like a lion's mane and ears sticking out of the top of its head like a canine. The nose is reminiscent of a human's, albeit wider, and the face has a grotesque appearance. For hands, it has what looks like claws and doesn't look like it would hesitate to use them. I mean, it looks like it could eat me for dinner. Surprisingly, the creature is adorned in what appears to be a gown with pants. While identifying the exact creature is challenging, the presence of human-like clothing suggests a connection to our species. Yet the nature of this connection eludes us as it defies our understanding of known paranormal creatures. Can you help? A man was just taking a stroll in a park. As he wandered among the trees, his keen eye spotted something peculiar, prompting him to capture it on camera. The resulting image reveals a dark figure which appears to have fur all around it. The distance between it and the man makes it a bit challenging to be absolutely certain. The creature's bipedal stance, a characteristic that immediately brings to mind the legendary Bigfoot, makes it stand out among the foliage. However, what makes this figure truly intriguing is its ethereal quality, which lends it an almost ghostly appearance. This leaves us in a beguiling dilemma. Is it a supernatural entity, a spectral visitor from another dimension, or could it possibly be the elusive Bigfoot concealed in the shadows? We now invite you, our discerning viewers, to share your insights and thoughts in the comments section below. Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit that like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. Back in 2014, a man captured this image in Montana near the stunning Flathead Lake area. So here's the photo, and it's like something straight out of a sci-fi flick. A creature in the sky, and it's not your garden variety bird. The silhouette is like nothing you'd spot in your birdwatcher's guide. Some folks are saying this could be the real deal, a living, breathing pterodactyl straight out of the dinosaur era. Just look at that image, it's enough to make your jaw drop. Always skeptics in the room, and they're suggesting that maybe, just maybe, this image has had a little digital makeover. You know, Photoshop and all that jazz. But this doesn't erase the fact that we could be sharing our world with living, breathing dinosaurs, or is it all just a high-tech illusion? If you've been a faithful follower of our chronicles, you're well aware that venturing alone into the depths of the woods is a recipe for hair-raising adventures that you won't find in any travel brochure. Watch this video. The footage was captured by a lone hiker innocently embracing the serenity of nature's embrace, unaware of the chilling plot twist about to unfold. As he meanders through the leafy labyrinth, a peculiar sensation tingles down his spine. A subtle whisper of unease that only Mother Nature can master. He turned around only to spot this strange woman standing by a tree. Frozen in time, this spectral maiden gazes upon the world with a lifeless demeanor. But here's where things go from eerie to downright bone-chilling. Rivulets of a crimson-like liquid trickle down her face like a nightmarish raindrop painting her existence with an otherworldly palette. Was she a mere illusion, a puppetry of light and shadow, or did the woods conceal something far more sinister? A ritual gone awry, an ancient curse brought to life in this isolated clearing? Could it be a fallen soul trapped between realms, or a mirage concocted by the forest's twisted imagination? Or could it simply be a setup and a hoax? It's hard to say, but what do you think? There is something about mountain hiking and paranormal sightings. People who go to the highlands always seem to have a tale to tell, especially on the Appalachian Trail. This footage was uploaded onto the internet and it remains a mystery to date. A hiker went to the Appalachian Trail when he came across this strange creature. The creature looked like some kind of a bird, but was bigger. It had white feathers and a large beak. However, its eyes were big and hollow. The creature stood hidden behind a tree, so it's hard to make out the rest of its features. The internet became a canvas for the world to ponder, a virtual gallery for the enigma captured on film. Yet alas, despite the collective brainpower of the internet's denizens, the creature remains nameless, its identity as elusive as the morning mist. The realm of possibility widens. Is this an undiscovered species, an interdimensional visitor, or a resident of the paranormal's menagerie? What do you think? Talk about an uncanny encounter, not content with just flying dinosaurs. Our world seems to be teeming with the unexpected. This time, our stage is set on a car, and behold, a creature like none you have ever seen. Picture a foam, like the kind you'd find in your cushions or packaging material. Now, give it a bizarre twist, bring it to life, and watch it move around. That's exactly what we're seeing here, isn't it? It's a peculiar sight, and I'd say it has an eerie, otherworldly vibe to it. This thing looks like it could spread the zombie virus or something. Talk about a paltry plot twist. This footage from a chicken farm introduces us to a truly unusual feathered friend. This little chicken comes with a peculiar addition, 2 extra legs sprouting from its back. However, these extra limbs seem to be mere passengers, unable to lend a helping hand or claw to the chicken's daily activities. It's a rather unique case of chicken anatomy, but it seems like this little one might be dealing with a deformity. Nature sometimes throws us a curveball, resulting in creatures that deviate from the norm. With footage from a biker exploring the woods. 2 weird things happen in the footage. Have a look. At first glance, the biker seems to be enjoying himself, and the footage appears perfectly ordinary, until he mentions the broken log and his shin.
Violated that log, man. You see how that log's broken in half? My shin broke it in half.
At that point, it's clear that something went awry. Luckily, he's still riding the bike and seems unharmed. A closer look at the footage, however, and we spot a funny-looking creature in the background. The alien-looking creature doesn't look like anything you'd see or expect to find in the wild, but there it is. Also, in the first few seconds of the video, we hear a certain sound.
Violated that log, man. You see how that log's broken in half? My shin broke it in half.
Did you catch that? It sounds alien, almost reminiscent of the creature we spotted near the end of the footage. Could this be a genuine encounter? Is this our first contact with an extraterrestrial visitor? Did an alien spacecraft quietly touch down in the woods, only to be unexpectedly interrupted by the biker? And here's the kicker. Can we even trust the authenticity of the footage? Numerous questions, yet no answers. What do you think is happening here? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Can you guess what this beautiful creature is? It looks beautiful, doesn't it? But what creature is it? What species? Do you know any facts about them? If you do, tell us in the comments section. Start with bonus footage so we easily identify it. The most accurate description with the rarest fact will win a feature in our next video. All the best. In the wilds of British Columbia, a man finds himself face to face with a creature that's known to exist only in legends. In the captured footage, the creature peers cautiously from behind the trees, revealing a dark face adorned with black fur. Looking at the footage, I guess we all know who the big guy is. Yes, you thought right, the legendary Sasquatch. Sasquatch lore is characterized by tales of large, hairy, ape-like beings that are said to inhabit remote wilderness areas. While there have been numerous reported sightings and anecdotal evidence, the existence of Sasquatch remains a mystery. You'd think with all our advanced tech we'd have found them by now. Once the footage popped up online, though, many believed we may be dealing with an ape instead. What do you think? While walking through the wilderness, a man hears these strange purrs coming from a cave. As curiosity beckons, the intrepid explorer gets closer and spots a creature with glowing eyes peering from an opening in the cave. Now, there seems to be no visible entrance to the cave, so how did the creature find its way in? And more importantly, what kind of creature are we dealing with here? Some suggest it might be a mountain lion, a known inhabitant of caves in remote areas. I mean, these creatures are known for their elusive behavior, and their reflective eyes in low-light conditions could create the appearance of glowing eyes like we see in the footage. There are others, however, who entertain the idea that something far more sinister might be afoot, perhaps a mystical creature hiding in the cave. Having seen it, what do you think? In a captivating forest experience, a man found himself up a tree where he encountered something rather unexpected. When he looked down, he saw a creature with glowing green eyes and a black furred body that seemed almost human.
This dude is crazy in there. Whoa. Whoa.
The mysterious being hidden behind tree branches seemed to notice the man on the tree, occasionally popping its head out to watch him. To add to the strange scene, another creature with a green face and large eyes joined it, making the situation even more mysterious. While some think one of the creatures might be a Bigfoot, the identity of the other remains unknown. The man's day in the woods turned oddly intriguing, leaving many questions without answers and the encounter steeped in mystery. A group of individuals have a coily plastic stick, a bucket, and access to a running tap. The simplicity of these elements belies the captivating phenomenon about to unfold. They opened the tap and the water started flowing into the bucket. Holding the coiled plastic stick vertically under the running water, they saw something amazing. The stick started going up against gravity. To everyone's surprise, the stick kept rising from the bucket, staying under the flowing water. This cool display of buoyancy goes against what they expected, making everyone who saw it feel amazed and wonder how it happened. While it may seem mysterious at first glance, it can be explained by the scientific principles governing the behavior of fluids. Bernoulli's principle explains that when the speed of a fluid like water goes up, its pressure goes down. So as the water flows, it makes a low-pressure space around the stick, lifting it and making it float. At least that's what Julius told me. Does anyone of you know if he's telling the truth or not? Next, we have a mysterious encounter in the lush landscapes of These strange people were covered in a black substance with animal fur adorning their heads and cascading down their backs. Adding an eerie touch, these enigmatic beings are known for emitting strange, haunting screams into the air. But who or what could they be? And to the paranormal speculators, some think they might be mischievous children dressed up and engaging in elaborate pranks on unsuspecting residents. I mean, when you think about it, it's something children would do. On the flip side, a more mystical interpretation takes root. Some members of the paranormal community suggest that these peculiar beings are forest guardians wandering through the woodlands. To be fair, in folklore and local legends, tales of guardians or spirits inhabiting nature's spaces are not uncommon. The black substance and fur might symbolize a connection to the earth and the creatures within it. But perhaps this is just Aaron's paranormal ideologies rubbing off on me. What's your take on this mysterious scenario? A case of mischievous youngsters, or perhaps encounters with mystical guardians of the forest? Kindly let us know what you think in the comments section. Take a look at this disturbing footage taken on a train. Here, you can hear this loud sound coming from the train with accompanying sparks. They appear to be coming from the train. But in a few seconds, a loud sound is heard as the other side of the train sparks fire, startling everyone. Now, what's causing this chaos? One theory is that the train might be going through a tunnel that's a tad too small for its liking, scraping against the walls and creating those sparks. Another possibility is that the train itself might be having a bad day. Some technical hiccups. At the start of the clip, notice how the guys sitting down seem unfazed by the noise, and others on the opposite side are also keeping their cool until there's a loud sound and bright light flash from outside the train. It's almost as if they're used to this situation, meaning the second theory might be correct. What do you think? Have you ever had one of those instances where you were moving through the woods only to have a tiny hand waving at you? If you answered no, then that makes two of us, but we can't say the same for the one who uploaded this footage. In a curious encounter deep within the woods, an individual stumbled upon a bizarre sight among a cluster of wet rocks. Here, a peculiar tiny hand emerged, rhythmically waving in a seemingly playful manner. The tiny hand's origin and nature sparked speculation and fascination. People have long been fascinated by folklore and mythical beings that inhabit the woods, and sightings like these often evoke a sense of wonder and curiosity. Is it the hand of a mythical creature, like a duende or a gnome? Beings of folklore and myth? Legends from different cultures portray these creatures as elusive, magical beings that enjoy hiding and engaging with the natural world. But some may argue that the waving hand could be an optical illusion. Strange incident in Hochatown, Oklahoma. While checking up on his cabins, our faithful reporter runs into a rather curious scene where there are women with headsets moving in a trance-like state, almost as if they were under some form of mind control. As they moved in what seemed like a meditative state, our reporter noticed that the women became stiff and frozen at different points in time. To make the situation even creepier, some of the women took odd positions, lying face down in the gravel, facing trees, or lying on the ground with their feet bent backwards. Now, you don't have to be a believer in the bizarre and supernatural to know all's not right here. This peculiar scene raises questions about what they were doing, whether it was a unique kind of meditation or perhaps a coordinated event. I know I'm stretching it here, but what do you guys think is happening? Check out this rather peculiar scene. Yes, those are turtles and someone's diligently digging them out. Now you might be wondering what's the story behind this unusual turtle excavation. Turns out some turtle species are known to hibernate. The narrative is these guys are trying to ensure their well-being during this slumberous state. According to them, it's like tucking them into a cozy bed in the earth, providing a safe and insulated space for their hibernation. Well, personally, I don't buy it. It looks like someone's gathering resources for dinner. Now, the next question is, why do they hibernate? In the wild, some species of turtles hibernate during the colder months to conserve energy when food is scarce. They may bury themselves in soil, mud, or leaf litter to protect themselves from extreme temperatures. Nature's ways can be a fascinating sight, don't you think? Whoa, check out this guy. He's doing some seriously bizarre stuff with his body. First off, he's pulling at the skin on his forehead and it's like taffy just stretching away. That's a bit odd, right? But hold on, it gets weirder. He goes on to shift his Adam's apple. I mean, who does that? That's not your everyday talent. Then he's stretching his arms in ways that seem way too flexible, and then to top it off, he bends his finger backwards to touch the back of his hand. Now, that's not how fingers are supposed to bend. Now here's the mystery. Is this some kind of medical condition, or could he be one of those rumored hybrid humans? It's kind of disturbing messing with the norms of human anatomy like that. What's going on with this guy's body? This next one captures individuals gathering around a pool and deeply absorbed in a swimming competition, happily unaware of a mysterious visitor in their midst. The dedicated videographer is doing his job and capturing the whole thing, a job he does too well because he ends up capturing something rather extraordinary. There it is, a small creature with the head of a chameleon and tiny human-like legs sitting cross-legged as if deep in thought. Its eyes appeared fixed on the pool, yet no one in the crowd noticed it. It leaves you really wondering, what creature could this be? Where did it come from and why was it there? If you know anything about the internet, then you surely know that speculations and theories went wild once the footage hit. Some suggest the creature might be a mere towel that has been mistaken for a living being, while others suggest it might be aliens scouting for potential test subjects. Between these two, which sounds probable to you? If you have your own theory, let us have it.
What you're about to hear is real. My name, it's not too important.
Next, we have footage showing this man who takes to social media making claims that he's not human, but a super soldier made from the Neuralink program. Yup, you actually heard that right. To support his assertions, the individual showcases specific areas of his body where he claims to have been experimented on. He draws attention to his elbows and palms where he's developing unusual bones. According to this narrative, this transformation process is indicative of his shift towards a reptilian state. While the authenticity of these claims remains uncertain, the man insists that he's not alone in experiencing such changes. He suggests that others like him who have undergone similar transformations have reached out to him to share their own stories. I'm all for exposing government experiments if they exist, but something about this feels just not right. What do you think, though? Could this be the real deal? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more videos like this for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. In the boundless sky above, a pilot aboard an aircraft becomes witness to a mesmerizing display of atmospheric phenomena. As the craft floats above the clouds, the pilot notices a peculiar light show unfolding beneath. Lightning-like flashes illuminate the clouds, and a mysterious beam of light pierces through from below. I know what you're thinking, alien beam, but believe it or not, this rare and captivating spectacle is known as sprites or blue jets. It's a phenomenon where electrical discharges travel from the ground to the sky, usually during thunderstorms. Unlike the more commonly observed downward lighting, which originates in clouds and strikes the ground, upward lighting starts at the surface, typically above large thunderstorms traveling upwards. These phenomena were only discovered and confirmed relatively recently, and their elusive nature makes them difficult to observe. Pilots flying above thunderstorms or satellites positioned above the Earth's atmosphere are most likely to observe and capture such rare moments. At least, that's what Julius said. What do you think?
¿Esto es real o esto es puesto ahí?
Esto es real.
Es real.
Es natural.
Podemos mirar.
Sí, claro.
Now feast your eyes on this man sporting what appears to be silver hair, or dare we say it, fur cascading from his shoulders down his back. Believe it or not, this is natural. In the realm of unique conditions, this falls under the purview of hypertrichosis, often colloquially referred to as werewolf syndrome. Hypertrichosis involves excessive hair growth in areas where terminal hair doesn't typically make an appearance. It comes in both congenital, present at birth, and acquired forms. Nature's quirks can take on various forms, and this silver-haired individual is living proof. Do tell me, werewolf enthusiasts, is this a condition you wish you had?
Mira todo esto, güey. Oiga, se siente, no lo voy a negar que se siente, ¿verdad? Como...
Everyone knows living alone does things to your mind, but the homeowner who sent in our next footage states that he'd been grappling with an unsettling feeling of being watched. For several days, this eerie sensation persisted and created an atmosphere of unease. The source of this discomfort appears to be a pair of glowing eyes peering out from the darkness whenever the homeowner scans his surroundings. While these eyes could potentially be attributed to ordinary nocturnal animals like coyotes or other wildlife inhabiting the woods, there lingers a sinister undertone that suggests something more mysterious and perhaps something paranormal. Could this be the silent vigil of a mythical creature, a dogman, or a rake concealed within the shadows? Share your thoughts. Imagine stepping out at night only to come home to see this creature standing a few feet away from your house. The initial assumption as the creature stands in the darkness is that it might be a stray dog, yet the revelation comes with an unsettling twist when the light pierces the obscurity. It then becomes abundantly clear that this is no ordinary canine, instead a humanoid figure contorted on all fours. Could it be a creature from the realms of folklore, a rake known for its unsettling appearance, or perhaps a skinwalker, a shape-shifting entity that blurs the lines between human and beast? I guess we'd never really know for sure. Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a rake after you now, would you? Now, what do we have here? This sushi appears to be having a mind of its own. The filleted fish is moving on its own. Someone I know saw this and shouted, "Possessed!" The only thing that possesses, however, is beauty. That's if you can at least get past the whole unlived fish thing. So, is this fish possessed? Well, no. In many cases, this occurrence can be attributed to a phenomenon known as post-mortem twitching or nerve firing. Even after a fish is filleted, gutted, and prepared for consumption, there can be residual nerve activity that causes muscles to twitch or spasm. This doesn't necessarily indicate that the fish was alive at the time of serving. It's a natural response resulting from the remaining electrical activity in the fish's nerve cells. Well, that's what Julius said anyway, and, well, I guess I gotta believe him. You might want to buckle up for this one. Imagine you're chilling in your backyard and out of nowhere, something falls from the sky. You go check it out, and voila, it's this device with solar panels on it, and to top it off, it's got the words "Space Selfie" written on it. Now, that's not your everyday backyard discovery. Curiosity kicks in, right? So after a bit of research, it turns out that this thing is called a Samsung Space Selfie. And get this, it happened back in 2019. Yeah, a whole space selfie dropped into someone's backyard. How wild is that? The Samsung Space Selfie involved sending a device with solar panels into the stratosphere to capture a space selfie. The concept was a marketing stunt to promote the Samsung Galaxy S10 5G smartphone. This device, equipped with cameras, took pictures against the backdrop of the Earth and space. During the event, Samsung launched the device into the stratosphere using a high-altitude balloon. People could submit their selfies, and the selected images were then displayed on the device's screen as it floated in the stratosphere. Participants received a link to a video showing their selfies with the curvature of the Earth in the background. Seems the people who found this device had no clue and were pretty shocked. I would do it if it was me. Next, take a look at this peculiar footage. The video captures a tree in an extraordinary moment with water flowing from it. While the sight might evoke a sense of wonder, it also sparks curiosity about the underlying mechanisms at play. Some observers speculate that someone may have ingeniously connected a hose to the tree, creating a whimsical illusion of a water tree. This could be a human-made installation or a prank to perplex onlookers. On the other hand, there is another theory proposing that the tree might be situated on top of a natural underground spring or fountain. In such cases, the roots of the tree could tap into an underground water source, leading to water flowing out through the trunk.
It's like a bolt of lightning hit right there. You guys, look at this sweet crack that we found in the ice.
One night after it snowed, a man and his family came across a strange sight frozen in the ice. The pattern looked like black veins, like scenes from the popular show Stranger Things. The mysterious appearance sparked questions and thoughts among those who saw it. People had different ideas to explain this puzzling event. Some wondered if a lightning bolt could have created such detailed patterns, while others thought about the possibility of a unique parasite or organism causing the strange formation. With no clear answer, the lack of explanation made the discovery even more intriguing. Aaron insists it's a symbiote, but come on. The everyday chore of bathroom scrubbing. God, my mom knows how much I hate that. Anyway, instead of the usual everyday routine, this one unveils something rather perplexing. While diligently scrubbing away, the individual whom we will call Scrubby noticed a strange phenomenon unfolding with the foam on the ground. Instead of the usual randomness, the foam arranged itself into circles, forming a captivating spiral. I kid you not. Oh, wait, well, you can see it too, can't you? Now the plot thickens. The person ceased scrubbing, and there appears to be no external force at play. How on earth is this peculiar spiral of foam materializing on its own? It's a head-scratcher indeed. What's your take on this bathroom mystery? A playful trick of foam physics, or perhaps a sign of something more mystical? Take a look at this. Looks strange, doesn't it? It's like a mix between the Hulk and the Devil. His strange-looking green face, however, is nothing more than a praying mantis. The praying mantis, with its unique and captivating appearance, truly stands out in the realms of insects. One of its intriguing behaviors involves the use of its forewings to create a startling display. When faced with threats, a mantis may theatrically open its wings, revealing eye-like patterns on the undersides. a remarkable tactic to intimidate potential predators. Not only does the mantis employ this defense mechanism, but the males also showcase their wings to communicate with potential mates. These visual signals play a crucial role in attracting female mantises during the intricate dance of courtship. Would you want one of these as a pet? Is it even safe? Share your thoughts. Now let's head over to Languy Lake in the Los Lagos region of Chile. This strange being was captured there, and it has the whole internet buzzing and talking. The paranormal section, at least. Many theories are flying around, but I'd want to hear yours first before sharing mine. What do you think this is? Next, we have this mysterious video from an undisclosed location that captures a person trying out a strange fruit from a tree. The individual lights the fruit with a match, revealing its flammable characteristics. As if that wasn't weird enough, the person then places the fruit on a white handkerchief and demonstrates its ability to move backwards when a copper wire is brought near it, showing what appears to be a magnetic-like response. In the final part of the experiment, the person puts the fruit in a glass cup and fills it with water. Surprisingly, when a matchstick is brought up close to the cup, the fruit ignites once again. The entire sequence of events defies conventional understanding and physics, which leaves all who see it, including us, grappling with questions about these unusual properties and behaviors of the mysterious tree and its seemingly anomalous fruits. Has any of you seen or eaten this fruit before? Can you explain what's going on to us? Ah, the mysteries beneath the surface. Now look at this curious sight. Something stirring underground, causing the concrete ground to yield and create a noticeable hole. A peculiar phenomenon indeed. As the ground shifts and the concrete is pushed up and out, one might find themselves pondering. Do these movements resemble arms, gently but assertively pushing against the constraints of the concrete? You know what? Perhaps I should take your opinions. What are your thoughts on this underground enigma, a natural occurrence or perhaps a playful illusion sparked by the dance of subterranean forces? Share your thoughts.
There you go. It's a clear head.
If you haven't already hit that like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more of these videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to the day's episode. An Indian Army personnel was patrolling with his dog in the mountains when he came across a yogi. A yogi was half naked and was holding a stick in his hand. Despite the freezing cold with snow everywhere, it was pretty shocking to see this half-naked man in such conditions, and he appeared unfazed by the cold. When he reached the edge of the mountain, he started to roll downwards in the snow in a descent. I'm tempted to laugh, but I won't. Is there an Indian who could explain what's going on to us? I'd greatly appreciate it. A homeowner heard some noise in his backyard and he went to check it out. This is what he saw. A strange goat-like creature standing on a wooden chair. As the homeowner got closer, the creature displayed an unnaturally mechanical movement, lifting its long neck from a downward gaze. The strange and seemingly calculated response made the homeowner retreat as fast as he could from the scene. Now, I know this thing looks like an alpaca, but that's definitely not how they behave. The occurrence has a creepy vibe similar to the mysterious and unsettling stories connected to mythical beings like skinwalkers. Whether it's just a peculiar animal or something more otherworldly, the video has left many who saw it feeling uneasy. What do you make of it? A group of men discovered this mysterious creature washed ashore on the sandy beach. Does it not remind you of a mythical creature from folklore, say, the mermaid? It's definitely a combination of a human upper torso seamlessly transitioning into a fish's tail. The creature was face down and its tail was tangled in some ropes. One of the men approached to help free the creature from the tangled ropes, but the situation took a startling turn when the creature hissed in response, prompting the man to retreat. I mean, I don't know what he was expecting. What I do know, however, is that I'm never going near anything that looks remotely like that. Mermaids are mystical creatures that are believed to inhabit our waters, but footage like this makes me wonder if there's a point to calling them mystical anymore with the constant sightings being recorded. Unless, of course, this is a fake. What do you guys think?
It's my first watch. Is an asteroid because it's from.
This watchmaker in Argentina is doing something pretty cool. Imagine a watch that doesn't look like your typical shiny thing, but more like a rock. And get this, it's not just any rock. It's made from an asteroid that literally fell from the sky and landed in Argentina. While some folks are all about showing off their diamonds and fancy watches, this watch takes the cake. We're talking about a watch with a piece of outer space on your wrist. It's not just a timepiece, it's like wearing a chunk of the universe while keeping tabs on the time. So what do you think? Would you ever consider rocking this rock on your wrist? Someone found this massive snake coiled up in the tree while walking through the woods. I'm talking colossal, legendary serpent vibes. Now, when it comes to big snakes, think pythons or anacondas, the real giants of the snake world. These creatures are known for their impressive size and tree climbing skills, often hanging out in tropical or subtropical regions, particularly in lush forests. But let's be real. Encountering a snake of this magnitude is not your average stroll in the park. But if you ever do, safety first. Keep a good distance because large snakes, even though fascinating, can potentially be on the dangerous side. This one looks like it could practically swallow a whole person in one go. So the next time you're wandering through the woods, keep your eyes peeled for more than just birds and squirrels, and you might just save your life or make an amazing discovery. In Turkey, a group of guys embarked on an evening exploration adventure.
Hocam bu ne ya? Ana, oğlum. Hocam.
As they approached a particular cave, their attention was drawn to something between the rocks. To their shock, they discovered a bug-eyed alien creature lurking in the shadows. The alien shifted its gaze toward the explorers, prompting an immediate and instinctive response from the once bold adventurers. Fueled by a blend of fear and amazement, the group quickly left the cave, leaving behind a mysterious encounter engraved in their memories. The unplanned meeting with an otherworldly entity added an unforeseen turn to their cave exploration, raising questions and speculations about the nature of the creature they had seen. I know this next one might shock some of you, but it's real. Believe me when I tell you that there are still tribes like this around the globe which still live in isolation. No TV, no internet, no radio, and no modern healthcare. They still do things the old way and are comfortable. From time to time, though, we do spy on them. What do you think goes through their heads when they see our devices? Personally, I think they assume the sky gods are watching over them. What say you? take a look at that. These large birds look like they belong in the dinosaur era. Well, they actually don't, and you could see one today if you wanted. They are what we call Andean condor. The Andean condor is one of the largest flying birds in the world. It has a massive wingspan that can reach up to 10 feet, 3 meters or more. Andean condors are native to South America and are found in the Andes, a mountain range. Despite their large size, Andean condors are skilled flyers. They utilize thermal air currents to soar at high altitudes, covering vast distances in search of food. Like all vultures, they are scavengers and primarily feed on carrion. While the Andean condor is not considered extinct, it faces conservation challenges. Threats include habitat loss, poisoning from ingesting lead from ammunition, and illegal hunting. Oh, humans, when will we ever learn to leave nature alone? Up in the clouds, someone filmed this strange figure. Now, the question is, are we witnessing the real-life BFG, or is this some crazy optical illusion? Sometimes the way clouds look, the lighting, and how the camera is positioned can make things seem off. There's this thing called pareidolia, which is when our brains try to find familiar shapes or patterns in random stuff. It's like seeing faces in clouds or shapes in abstract art. Our brains just like making sense of things, even when it's not really there. This could be the case in this footage, but then who's to say that that is also not a real giant? What are your thoughts? Could there really be giants hanging out in the clouds, or is it just the universe's way of messing with our heads? In this intriguing footage, we are presented with a bizarre sea creature resembling something out of a sci-fi or horror setting. The creature appears to have a squid-like structure with a single tentacle and continuous undulating movements. The location of the discovery off the coast of Coney Island adds an element of mystery and speculation. Coney Island has historically been associated with various unusual phenomena, including deformed creatures and humans. In the olden days, these unusual animals and beings were displayed in circus shows for people to look at. If any of these are to be believed, you can't help but wonder if there might be something in those waters causing the mutations we see in creatures from around that region. If you've got ideas or theories explaining the phenomena, kindly drop them in the comments section. Entering the depths of the forest, a brave explorer came across an interesting find, a jar hidden among the complex roots of a towering tree. Ever heard of those old tales of monsters imprisoned in a jar? These stories often involve malevolent beings that are captured and sealed away to prevent them from causing harm to the world. The idea of confining supernatural entities in containers is a recurring theme in myths, legends, and fairy tales across various regions. One famous example is the story of the genie in the bottle from Arabian folklore. In this tale, a magical being, often a genie, is confined within a container, such as a bottle or lamp. When the container is opened, the genie is released and may grant wishes to the person who freed them or cause harm to the world. Now, while I'd want to find a genie to grant my wishes, like no taxes and possibly never having to work again, I can't help but feel that whatever this is might be ominous. What do you guys think? Our next footage was taken by a Ring doorbell camera. From the footage, you can clearly tell that it's nighttime, and the rain seems to be pouring pretty heavily. A closer look and you'll realize that there's something strange about this. There in the sky is this ball of light. It doesn't look like your regular star, and it's definitely too high to be your normal street light. Simply put, it doesn't look like any of the celestial bodies we're used to. Instead, it just hovers there, mysteriously blinking in a pattern like a guiding light in the dark. What are we looking at here? Could it be some far-off space object trying to send a subtle message on this rainy night, or maybe it's a rare weather event causing optical illusions, making it seem like something it's not to the person watching? Extreme body modifications such as tattooing the entire body or undergoing procedures to resemble animals are indeed a form of self-expression that can be perceived as unconventional and even shocking. In this case, we have a person with his back inked like a snake. I mean, talk about commitment to the extreme. It's like they decided regular tattoos weren't cutting it, so why not turn the entire back into a slithering serpent canvas? Freaky doesn't even begin to describe it. But hey, each to their own, right? Beauty and body modifications come in all sorts of flavors. Some might find it intriguing, while others might find it a tad too freaky.
They're all over the damn place again tonight.
What would you do if you saw a pair of strange eyes moving around on your property? Well, this man loaded a gun and went to confront the mysterious presence on his property.
Might actually get to capture something here.
When he fired the gun, the creature was startled and quickly retreated. The fact that the creature's eyes were at a height of approximately 7 feet rules out the possibility of common animals like coyotes or raccoons. Mentioning its eye level opens up intriguing possibilities, including the idea that it could be the legendary Dogman.
Leave now.
You know, the mythical and mysterious creature often discussed in various paranormal legends? Yeah, that one. This next one was taken from the dashcam of a car. This clip shows a parking lot at night with cars parked, but then this happens and something walks by. It looks like some invincible person or an entity. Thoughts about it sway between the mystical and the practical, with me mostly wondering about the identity of the mysterious passerby. Is it a ghostly presence moving through the night with otherworldly elegance, or is it an intruder cleverly concealed in disguise? Share your thoughts in the comment section. We'd love to hear them. A resident in Virginia stumbled upon something quite unexpected, an Egyptian railway train. Yeah, you heard that right.
This is an Egyptian railways train.
Now, I'm no geography expert, but last time I checked, Virginia and Egypt weren't exactly next-door neighbors, so how in the world did an Egyptian train make its way to Virginia? Did it take a wrong turn and hop on a magical track to end up halfway across the globe? One plausible explanation could be that the train in question is a replica or a theme-based attraction rather than the actual operational Egyptian railway train. Another possibility is that the train components were transported to the United States for exhibition or display. But these are just speculations since no context was given to the situation. But what do you think could be going on here?
Really long. It goes on and on and on here at Norfolk Southern Railways.
This next one's an unusual one, but do enjoy it. Yup, that's a person with their mouth wide open. I'm talking wider than your regular human jaw stretch. Now the big question, how on earth is this happening? Some might throw around the idea of shape-shifting reptilian people, you know, the conspiracy theory stuff. Maybe this person isn't fully human, so stretching the mouth like that is a walk in the park for them. Or hey, could it be some super stretchy mouse skin they were born with? The possibilities are out there, but here's the thing. Well, who knows, right?
Look at this.
In this unsettling video recorded by a trail camera, a man is seen in the dark woods standing beside a tree. Suddenly, he starts displaying strange and contorted movements. Looking upwards, pushing his chest out, bending backwards and twisting his arms uncomfortably, all the while emitting moans of distress. The peculiar behavior of the man prompts inquiries into potential explanations for his actions. Viewers may ponder whether he is undergoing some kind of possession, encountering a supernatural force, or even undergoing a transformation into a creature like a skinwalker.
Okay, so I was walking my dog and I seen these little black spots on the ground.
In an intriguing yet puzzling turn of events, a woman captured a rather perplexing scene on video: bees inexplicably falling from the sky onto the ground.
All of these are bumblebees. And it's like they're falling out the sky. I literally looked up and then there was one falling out the sky. I don't see any more, but...
To unravel the mystery, we can explore different factors. One possibility is that the bees were affected by a pesticide or chemical substance in the environment, leading to their disorientation or death. Another factor to consider is adverse weather conditions such as extreme temperatures or sudden changes in atmospheric pressure, which could impact the behavior and well-being of the bees. While these sound logical, Aaron believes there's something mystical going on here. He believes it's a sign of an omen. While I try to stay away from Aaron's hypothesis most often, I can't help but wonder if he's onto something here. What about you? This next one is from America. A woman turns her gaze skyward to capture the dance of a peculiar light. What unfolds is a sight that leaves one intrigued, a light resembling fire gracefully traversing the heavens. Yet as the primary light fades into obscurity, a smaller companion emerges, continuing the celestial spectacle. Now the question lingers. Was this an encounter with an otherworldly UFO, or perhaps a captivating play of holographic imagery in the night sky? Now this is strange. On a chicken farm, one of the workers spotted this strange-looking chicken. It had the body of a chicken, but its head looked like a dog with ears and all. How is this even possible? Now, I'm not an expert in genetics, but as far as I know, chickens and dogs weren't exactly swapping body parts for fun. Are we witnessing some kind of secret hybrid experiment gone wrong, or is this just Mother Nature having a quirky day? I'm genuinely curious. Would you be more intrigued or terrified to come across a chicken with a dog's head on your farm? Next, we have another bizarre capture from Lancaster County. Unlike the previous one, however, this is a video and it showcases something that looks more like a mutation than it does a cryptid. Yes, what you are seeing is very real. And yes, that's an actual deer with two noses. A park ranger discovered this unusual footage on a trail cam set up to capture local wildlife. The Trailcam had been successful capturing intriguing videos, and he was anticipating more. What he didn't expect, though, was the confusion upon first sight of this footage. It was mostly because he didn't know what he was looking at. The deer's face appears oddly shaped, with two additional openings. It took him a while, but he soon realized that these weren't openings, they looked like additional noses. The sight was truly bizarre and marked the first time such an occurrence had been captured on video. The ranger was highly convinced he was dealing with a mutated deer, but some experts who reviewed the case believe it could have resulted from injury. What do you think? For our next one, if you have a fear of spiders or arachnophobia, you might want to skip it. Yes, you're seeing right. Those are the legs of a spider and its underbelly or thorax, if I'm not mistaken. Is the spider giant, though? As much as I'd love to say yes, it's not. It's a normal-sized spider moving on top of the trail cam. We've encountered numerous instances of this, which led me to wonder if trail cams have something that attracts spiders, but it turns out they don't. Trail cam setups can, however, become hot zones for insects, and as we know, spiders love their insects, which is likely why we often see them hanging around trail cams. But what do you think? Now, for our next capture, you might want to brace yourself because it doesn't look pretty. Before you ask the question, allow me to answer. Yes, that's a deer, and yes, those are growths or warts around its neck. As disturbing as the image is, that's not uncommon for deer in the wild. These growths are known as fibroma or skin tags, and they result from various factors including genetics, insect bites, parasites, and poor nutrition, among others. Despite their appearance, these growths don't pose a significant threat to the deer, although larger ones might cause discomfort for the animal. That doesn't mean to run and apply ointments if you see a deer with one. What you should do is alert local authorities. Local authorities are best equipped to provide assistance. Until then, all we can do is hope and pray that the deer receives the necessary help. While the previous footage may not have exactly scared you out of your chair, this next one might do the trick. Watch. The footage starts off with a man driving what looks like a quad bike through the woods. It turns out the trail he's on is designated for ATVs, considered safe for off-road vehicles, quad bikes, dirt bikes, and similar vehicles. But what is it, though? Well, the rider found out the hard way it was not. Suddenly, his ride was interrupted by a wire fixed at neck height. Luckily for him, he had his helmet on, and that's what made contact with the wire. Given the speed at which he was riding, it pushed his head back with great force. But what if he was not wearing a helmet? What if it had made contact with his neck? What if he was on an actual bike? Would he have survived? I don't think so. But who would set up a wire on such a track? Why, and who was the target? Was it an attempt at murder or something meant to create a freak accident? I don't know about you, but if I were him, I would definitely not trust that track again or any track in that area whatsoever. Take a look at this door that was seen at the top of a cliff. Some say this could be a World War II bunker. While we have no way of confirming it, this theory could be correct. World War II bunkers were strategically positioned in various locations for defense purposes, and their survival over the decades often tells a story of resilience against the elements. In this case, the erosion of the cliff has revealed the bunker door, creating a surreal and almost surrealistic scene. The erosional landscapes can occur due to a combination of factors, including weathering, wind, water, and geological processes. Over time, these forces can shape and alter the contours of the land, uncovering hidden structures and artifacts. Now, what we have here is a captivating creature known as the deadleaf mantis. This master of camouflage has evolved to resemble a withered, curled-up leaf, and its ability to mimic the appearance of a dead leaf is nothing short of remarkable. With its intricate leaf-like body, structure, and coloration, this mantis can seemingly blend into its natural habitat, staying hidden from predators and ambushing its prey. It's a true testament to the wonders of nature and the incredible adaptations that many species have developed for survival. So the next time you're out exploring the wild, keep an eye out for the marvelous deadleaf mantis. Speaking of mysterious captures, take a look at this next one. At first glance, this looks like an ordinary image captured of the woods at night. A second look, however, and you'd notice something weird going on the left side of the screen. Do you see it? It appears to be some form of translucent creature moving within the trees. The poor quality of the image makes it hard to zoom in and discern what it is because the more you zoom in, the blurrier the image gets. We're not particularly fond of blurry images because they often invite skepticism unless the circumstances surrounding them make a strong case for their blurriness. So we throw this one at you. What do you think you were seeing? Is this whole image even real or simply a hoax meant to throw us off? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. A man who had set up his Trailcam overnight to capture wildlife went to review the footage his cam had captured and was greeted with a capture that had humans instead of animals. Take a look. The footage starts off with two men walking into the woods, after which they are joined by a third. These men look like they mean business given how they're moving with purpose and seriousness. The flash lamps they carry in their hands give off the vibe that they may be searching for something, but what exactly? This is where it gets interesting. We don't have to wait too long for our answer because within a few minutes they return from the woods dragging along a younger male. The first question that came to mind was, are they kidnapping him? I mean, you can never be too sure of late, right? The truth, however, turns out to be less sinister than that. The young man we see in the footage got drunk and went into the woods where he got lost. These men simply went out to look for him, and fortunately, they found him. They basically saved his life, and it was captured on tape. Interesting, right? Disclaimer, this next capture may be the most disturbing on our list. If you don't have the stomach for it, you might want to skip ahead by 30 seconds. If you can hear me, then you decided to listen, but I pray this does not become a thing you end up regretting. For our next trail cam, we travel all the way to Canada, not for the cold weather, but for the cold-hearted woman you see in the capture. Yes, those are naked women feasting on a dead deer. The one who captured this had set up a trail camera near the carcass of a deer in hopes of capturing predators feasting on it. Little did she expect that instead of predators, two partially naked women would emerge from the darkness to partake in the feast. Could they be witches simply having their dinner, or could there be something more sinister happening here? Perhaps an initiation or ritual to a cult. No one knows, but the story and footage have spooked all who have heard it. Are you one of those? Still on animals detecting things you wouldn't expect them to, we have this interesting trail cam footage. Watch. In the footage, we see two deer grazing. One of the two, however, is jittery and keeps looking around as though it were expecting a predator or felt something that was not right. I was tempted to think it might be normal behavior. That was, at least until I noticed the translucent thing that moved across the screen right when it turned. What was that strange thing? Is it a paranormal entity? Did that deer just notice a paranormal being? Does that mean animals are capable of detecting beings beyond our plane? Or is this video cleverly edited to make it look that way? So many questions, yet no answers. Tell us, what do you think? We'd really love to know. Would a bear attack a trail camera? Before you answer, watch this. While I know it looks like the bear was attacking the trail camera, what if I told you that it wasn't? If you pay attention to the video, you'd realize that the bear was going through some container until it abruptly stopped and then bolted out of the place. Putting on our Sherlock Holmes hats, we can deduce that the bear was probably going through those containers in search for food. Perhaps the containers were storing food items and the bear was simply drawn there by its scent. It might have heard people in the process and then tried to leave. Yes, keep applauding. I know I have decoded the scene, but what do you do when you live in a bear country and need to store food items outside? Well, you use a bear box. If you're wondering what that is, it's a metal container designed to store food and scented items in bear countries with the means of preventing the bears from accessing its contents and reducing the risk of human-bear conflicts. You can imagine what could have happened if the bear decided to go after the humans that disturbed it. It could have been tragic. If you're watching this video and live in a bear country and do not own one, you better pause the video, order yourself one, and then come back to it. I'm watching you. If you own one, just write "own one" in the comments section. If you ordered, just write "ordered one" in the comments section. I will be watching. This creepy-looking skeleton was found on a beach. It had the upper part of a human and the lower part of a fish. However, the skull had these horns around it resembling a crown. It also had huge yellow teeth still stuck in the bones of its jaws. This looks so creepy, but could this be a creature that once navigated the ocean depths, a mythical being that found its way to the shore? Or is it a meticulously crafted fabrication, a haunting stunt to bewilder and captivate those who stumble upon its skeletal form? Until more information emerges, we can only speculate, but do indulge us. What do you see when you look?
So this is a store in Paris. This is a man's store in Paris. And this is a mannequin.
Paris, after all, we're in the month of love. Do you know this person? Pause and take a closer look. Do you know who? I know you don't. Even if you think you do, it's a case of mistaken identity. Do you know how I know? Because what you're looking at is a mannequin. Yup, you heard that right. We're actually capable of this now. Would you want one of these, or does it give you the heebie-jeebies? For our final clip, we've got a group of men who were operating a mysterious machine with rotating parts submerged in murky waters. The exact purpose of the machine is unclear. Perhaps it's for catching fish or some other task, but what happened next was truly startling. Out of nowhere, an alligator suddenly lunged out of the water and latched onto the machine with its powerful jaws. The sheer speed and aggression of the attack took everyone by surprise. The alligator's grip was fierce, but fortunately it lost its hold and fell back into the water. Just look at how fast and aggressive that alligator was. It leapt up with such ferocity, reminding us of the raw power these creatures possess. It was definitely a close call for the men. And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, with our clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? The good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.